Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Before I tell you about this episode, I urge you to watch the music video of ESWY. And then, if you like, even my reaction to it. And then you will realize why this episode is so special. And I believe that this kind of work should set the tone for what's possible. And it should set the standard for pushing past formulas. And it just shows us the possibilities of what can be done by artists and creatives in the nation when they pour their heart and soul and the right kind of intent into anything. So, this episode, this conversation is my way of trying to help this art reach as far and wide as it should. And I hope I'm able to help propagate it and spread it. And I feel that everyone should watch this song's video, listen to this entire EP from start to end. It is one of the most loopable projects I've consumed. It is pop in the Indian way of doing pop. And it is so unique to the artist, to his sound, to his influences, to everything that makes him, that makes him Indian, that makes him Aman. It's just beautiful. And there's so much honesty and purity in it. And I love that. And I think more people should experience it. So sit back and I hope you enjoy the conversation. It's my first with Aman Sagar and with the brilliant director of ESWY, Yuvraj. So here we go. This is Real Talk, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Real Talk. With me today is a musician that I'm super stoked to have here and super excited to talk to. He is Aman Sagar, the man behind the project ESWY, the project that I can't stop raving about. And so excited to talk to you, Aman. Welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. I remember you did a reaction video to Ishka Da Jahan, and that's how we first got to know about each other. And like, I'm really excited because I've been like following your channel since then. And yeah,
So
I know
good.
you've had like really cool people in there. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad you mentioned Ishka Da Jahan because I remember that first conversation. I was thinking, who has done the music on this track? It blew my mind. We connected, and I was a little heartbroken that day because you told me कि कोई real harmonium नहीं है. You know? I was
I
like,
mean, it's a real person played it. So
okay,
yeah,
that did happen. Fine,
yes.
fine. Yeah, but we had a little bit of a chat just to get the audiences up to speed about, how anything can be replicated electronically today. And some people choose to do that, some don't. But these are just topics we'll dive into later in this conversation. I would like the audiences who've never heard your music to, and also the ones who have, to know how you started and what brought you into the world of music. I believe, yeah, there's a lot of accolades to your name that I've seen online. And yeah, I just let you have it. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, I grew up in this town called Haldwani. It's in Uttarakhand. It's a small town, and there was nothing much to do. So like, it was sort of like I started playing my brother's guitar in like ninth grade because it was just lying around and he wasn't using it. And then eventually, like, because there were so many, there was like two other people who played guitar in my school. So I sort of became like, a big fish in small
Stuff.
pond situation.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really worked for me. I was like good at it. It came easily to me. I learned it very fast. So eventually, like from there, like the interest developed, and then I moved to Delhi for college.
Okay.
And Delhi, for the first time, I saw like, oh, people are playing live, and like there are bands, and like you can get paid to play a show like 3K per show or whatever. So just really got into that. In fact, I got admitted to DU because like through the ECA thing where I could like showcase my music skills. So I got like admission into like a nice
Oh,
college in DU
nice.
because of my guitar skills. So
Nice.
yeah, and then I was just like sort of semi-professionally playing throughout my like college years, and then eventually like I wanted to study music. I got a little more intellectually into it, and I wanted to study like genres like jazz and like R&B and funk and all that, a little more deeper. And
Hmm.
so I got to know about the scholarship that Berkeley was giving out that year, the A.R. Rahman scholarship. So basically, A.R. Rahman did a concert with Berkeley, which generated a lot of income,
Yeah.
and using that money to give out three scholarships to Indian students. So I happened to audition that year and got the scholarship.
Yay.
So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So that was like, so before that, I think it was hard to convince my parents that this was a career. But I feel like after getting that scholarship, um, it was easier. And then they saw it, and like A.R. Rahman actually handed out the award to all of us in Bombay. And it was a big scholar, like it was like a 4-year course in Berkeley. So it was like a big, like 2,500, like $2,500,000 scholarships. So it was like a huge deal because I could have never afforded like Berkeley for like, you know,
2,500,000, not 250,000.
250,000, right? Yeah. What am I saying?
You said
25.
100,000.
Yeah, 2,500,000. Yeah, yeah, which is like roughly like what, like one to between 1.5 2 crores. Like that's how much it costs to like attend the
Yeah,
college, right? Which I would have never been able to do that without the scholarship. So,
it's
uh,
incredible.
yeah, so that was sort of like the transition into like professionally. Okay, now I have to be a musician. Now I'm like going to study, and I have spent all this money going abroad. So now like this is it.
This is it. How are the 4 years there?
Pretty amazing, man. Like I know a lot of people like shit on music schools and are like, a lot of artists who are successful sometimes are like, no, music school did not do anything for me. But I feel like it really depends on
The
the type of
school.
person like, yeah, because I went there because I wanted to go to music school and actually study, and I got to meet some of the best musicians in the world and
Yeah.
also study under the best people. Like one of my professors had produced Metallica's albums, and the other professor used to work with Prince, and there was
Hmm.
a guy who had like just won a Grammy. So there were like teachers who are like in the industry working with real people, right?
Yeah.
So it was for me, it was great. I studied like music production and guitar there. So uh,
Amazing.
yeah, really,
Also,
really nice.
every Berkeley graduate is an amazing musician or music business professional, and the name itself carries so much weight. So when you're surrounded by excellence and you're learning from excellent people, it's gonna rub off on you. 4 years is a long time, and it shows.
Yeah, for sure. And not just musically, like holistically, just like living abroad in a different country for the first time. Like I
Yeah.
grew up in Haldwani for the first 18 years of my life, which is like a very small town.
Mm.
So a lot of new things like holistical development, learning
Right.
so much about life and like
Yeah.
people skills, very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is underrated, I feel, because a lot of people don't leave their hometown, or even just like they're sort of they're very locally based throughout their life, so the understanding of the world really expands once you leave the
For sure.
nest.
100%.
So
100%.
that adds to um, your story as a musician that you're going to tell in your music.
Definitely.
So then you came back to India and you've been
Yeah, I
killing it
mean,
since.
honestly, the plan was to stick around and work there, but I graduated in 2020, and we all remember 2020. So
Mm.
there were no jobs, there was nothing, so I had to come back.
Okay.
Uh, and then eventually,
Good for us.
yeah, I mean, good for me also, honestly. Like now I'm pretty
Ah,
comfortably settled in Bombay.
yeah. Okay. That's good. Cool.
Yeah.
So let's deep dive into SV because it has honestly blown my mind. I review music on the daily and listen to stuff all the time. And honestly, and people saw this in the review, you saw it. I have been craving. I have been like eager to hear something that is just not following the formula and has a mind of its own musically, sonically, and visually. Visually, though we'll get into in a bit. But SV itself, when I first watched the video, you saw the reaction. And then I went and listened to the entire project and I couldn't stop looping it. It just felt like you are on this narrative journey and you are living this story from start to end, a story jiska arc hum sab ne jiya hai, right? It's the love story, the quintessential falling in love, meeting the person, then losing yourself in it, and then suddenly you fall hard and come to your senses. They break up with you, then you're like sad and lonely, depressed, whatever, and then you start the cycle again after recovering and fall in love again. So it's just so easy to loop the story and the way you sonically place the entire thing. So I want to ask you, was this always intended to be like a full arc? Because my understanding is you made SV, the track with Sangeeta. You all had the idea of the 7 lives and then you built the EP around it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct. How do you know about that though?
I just pieced it all together in my
That's
research.
crazy because that's exactly what happened. Like we had SV, and then with SV, it was just supposed to be a single. And then I was talking to Yuvraj about it. He was really keen on directing it, and these guys had an internal meeting. Jugaad has a big team, so someone suggested the idea of 7 lives, and that's
Mm,
how actually the EP was also born in a way because. The SV video then became about this lover of like trying to get this guy trying to get his lover in all 7 lives and failing, and
mm,
eventually I thought, wow, this can actually be an EP with 7 songs and not just like the music video. And like the whole arc is basically like development of a crush and then how it
ah,
develops. And basically because it's a sort of jilted lover, so he's like getting rejected in sort of every song. So it's
mm,
like showing frustration also. That's what you see
yeah,
throughout the EP.
yeah.
And eventually it ends on a note where there's acceptance and there's a little bit of defeat, but then it also again loops back to the first song, so it's
Yeah.
sort of restarts the cycle again.
That loop back is amazing because it just gives so much hope. You're like, ha, theek hai, ho gaya, now let's get back to falling in love again. Like it's just, I don't know, subconsciously or while you're listening to it, you're like, okay, this is good. And the sonic there is it's so immediately it catches you and catches your attention because okay, we'll get into track one, but I want to ask you, how long did the conceptualizing of the project take? Because from the time you all thought of these seven lives in the meeting, and then you were like, okay, this is a good starting point for a whole project, and now I have to have songs that tell a story in that or in the right order, and then I have to think of who's going to feature on which track. So tell me about how long did all that planning take, and then how did you decide on the features?
So basically, by I think September, October, we had like the video idea ready, and then the idea was to just immediately release the EP. Like January was the initial date, and I took a long time because we had like sponsors on board for the video and everything.
Yeah.
But I would say from the day of conceptualization of the video, we were able to, like, for me, I had already had songs which fit, like at least two or three of the songs, like
Oh.
Zakham and Social Anxiety was also a song that already existed. So like those
Okay.
songs sort of fit into the narrative. So I was like,
Nice.
I already have like three, four songs. But then I made those two Saat Khoon Maafs version, the first and the second part, and then the last song was also, it was called Saat Khoon Maaf Part 3 before, and then we changed the name
Oh,
to Everything's
okay.
About You. Yeah,
Okay.
so I made all three of them because I was like really inspired by the idea of the seven lives thing.
Yeah.
So those were made after the video, and then Opium, the song was made like literally like 4 weeks before the EP came out. So
Oh God.
yeah, it was like the video took a lot, like we took around 5, 6 months with the video, with the planning and everything and getting everyone on board.
Yeah.
So that whole 5 month period is where I think the EP was also sort of finalized and made
Okay.
truly. Yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying do teen gaane ready the, which fit very
Uh-huh.
well into the narrative. It's amazing. It's like they were born for this situation. And
Yeah.
you made Opium 4 weeks before release. Amazing. I love that track, by the way.
Thank you.
Um,
My favorite track too.
love. So loopable. And the Saat Khoon. So now Saat Khoon Maaf specifically, is it inspired by the Vishal Bhardwaj movie or?
I haven't seen that movie though.
Oh.
It's a phrase I heard. I probably heard it in that Seedhe Maut song, Batti, I think. Uh,
Uh, oh.
I mean, I've heard the phrase. It's like a popular phrase, right? I've heard the phrase.
Okay.
It clicked from that song.
Okay.
And just the idea of seven lives ties in. Like I know maybe probably what it means, Saat Khoon Maaf, is not what like I like there is it do you know the actual meaning of the phrase Saat Khoon Maaf? Because I was trying to like Google it once and
It's
it
based on a
is
book.
completely different than what I thought.
Oh, it's based on a book, is what I know. That's why the movie
Yeah.
also.
So what
Yeah.
I thought was it fit, like for me now the meaning completely changed because I like the phrase and like I like to think of it as this one guy who's so much in love with this one other person that he has like it's like there is Saat Khoon Maaf, like I've forgiven you
Kill me
for
seven
like
times and I'll forget. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah. I know the true meaning is something completely else, but
Yeah.
like it's interpretive. So
Okay. Nice. So then let's talk about the genre space because you can't really classify. I mean, that's also sort of like I feel classifying music by genre is a very Western thought. In your project, particularly, we can see all the different musical influences you have. There's a bit of R&B, jazz. There's your indie pop, even semi-classical. The bass is a thumri for the title track. So tell me if you had a sonic map in mind when you sat down to conceptualize all the seven tracks, or it just unfolded organically.
yeah, I would say the latter because I also work as a producer a lot, so I'm like
Mm.
constantly working with a lot of different genres. But
Mm.
I feel like there is something that ties it all together. It's basically the way I sing, and a lot of my songs are very groove, R&B groove, very like
Yeah.
groovy. So I love working with like drums and like how R&B and hip hop and old soul drums used to sound. So I feel like that sort of sonically ties everything together, and that everything is very groovy in the album. So it's very,
It's
but otherwise it spans a lot of genres. You're right.
yeah. So it just while you're jamming and playing with it, it just flows. All the different tabs in your brain
Yeah.
contribute to the sound.
Exactly. Yeah. I think most of the songs in the EP came about where the beat came first, where I was producing the beat first. And then I was like, okay, let me try to like sing on it, top line on it, and see what comes out.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how the process was.
When did the singing start? Because you said you learned production and guitar. That was your main thing. But you
It's
sing so well.
thank you though. It started really late. I think like when I was in Berkeley is when I actually like I took a few lessons and
Okay.
then I was like, okay, I guess I can sing my own songs also. Like before that, I was writing songs, but I wasn't singing them fully.
Okay.
But I think in college it started, and then eventually I kept singing, kept at it.
So you took lessons at Berkeley for singing
I took lessons
outside.
in Boston, but outside Berkeley because I was at Berkeley. My thing was guitar, and I was on a
Got
scholarship, so I didn't want to pay for extra vocal lessons at Berkeley. That was too expensive, so I just
Yeah.
took it from someone outside Berkeley.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good. I love that because a lot of artists don't do that. They're like, okay, I rap or I do this. And so I'm going to just focus on this. Whereas they can expand their sort of skill set by just going out and finding someone
for
to teach.
sure. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like for me, it was very important to, uh, I kind of come from like a little bit of an academic family, so
Mm.
I feel like it was embedded a little bit also to like really study what your craft is in
Yeah.
my head. So I feel like that it's for me that worked. I know it like for a lot of people it doesn't make sense, and the other way is actually better
Mm.
of just like
Okay.
we can just flow naturally,
Okay.
not having to intellectually study and like research or get into something that deeply.
Okay. I wonder,
Yeah.
okay. For me, I don't know how to work. For me, a learner mindset is the way because you have to keep adding to yourself.
I mean, yes, I mean, they learn in a different way, I guess. Like
Okay.
they don't necessarily want instructions from a school of thought.
Got it.
For example, like a Kurt Cobain would not have thrived in the music school, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay. So you're
yeah,
saying everyone's learning thing is different,
yeah,
manner to
yeah,
learn, है ना? And
yeah.
so even beyond singing, you've even written all your lyrics. So when did the songwriting part of it begin for you?
That I had been writing since college only, like all the songs. I was writing in English before, but then switched to Hindi because I thought like I was strong, a little like it came a little more naturally, the thought process of writing a song. And like I grew up talking more in Hindi
Mm.
compared to English, I would say, in school and all. So it just is a language that's closer to me. Ironically, and this interview is in English, I'm saying that, but
So
I think it's easier.
a lot of people have difficulty switching languages as songwriters, and the fact is that your primary language that you grew up in was Hindi, so that probably was easier for you. But do you feel like there's a bit of a poetic difference that happens in expressing the thought?
For sure. I still feel like my Hindi is not that great, like where I can express like things other than like all my songs have been about relationships so far, and there's like social anxiety in the album, which is sort of like a more all-encompassing song.
Yeah.
But it's hard to like I feel like DHH gives you the freedom to sort of express a lot more than just your love life, because a lot of like loves
Yeah.
pop songs in India are about love,
Yeah.
Bollywood and indie even.
Yeah.
So like DHH sort of gives you that freedom, and I'm like attracted to that, but I'm not fully into it because I'm not fully DHH also.
Mm.
So it's something that I'm still like grasping with my lyrics.
You're in the middle. You can touch all sides easily.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah, true.
Okay, lovely. So tell me about the cover art. Is that you, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that's me. It was just a random photo shoot we were trying to do for like promotional stuff. And then this one photo really stuck out. Like initially we wanted a face because everyone's like, you should have your face there. The branding should be like
Yeah.
that. But it's just this photo just really stuck out because like everyone thought of like, that blonde Frank Ocean pose. And I was like, yeah, that's a very iconic like pose. So like maybe this is the one.
This is the
So
one to go.
yeah.
It's actually it was a good call because it's kind of there's a lot of ways to interpret it. That you're kind of saving yourself, you're ducking, or you're just you know, I don't know, trying to save yourself from falling in love again. It's got a lot of meanings to it. I like it.
Yeah, it has layers. Like for me, it's like all about the frustration because the whole EP is sort of like building towards that frustration. So that really
Uh,
captures that frustration. And yeah, these like the Shivani and everyone like Yuvraj, they did a phenomenal job with just like having there's like little like those 7 dots. I don't know if it's
yeah.
still artwork on Spotify. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, they just like made it really. well.
I think the second one is highlighted, if I remember correctly. But yeah, on the
So the
top.
idea was to highlight each dot for each song, but Spotify doesn't
Oh,
let you do that. So
oh,
I'm
okay.
using it. Yeah. Unless
Ah.
you're a believer and you can make some phone calls, I guess.
Oh, you can't have individual art for each track.
I'm pretty sure you can if you have
I
the
would say have
full.
the
Yeah.
Spotify India. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So let's go now track by track. I really want to talk about firstly, you have the Molfa choir. I want to
Yeah.
ask you about them, but why did you start with Saat Maaf with that groove and that sort of sound to it?
Mhm.
And because it's really vibey, like I said, it immediately pulls you in. It's so, you start bobbing your head and then you're in. And there's a guitar piece at the end, which I'm sure you've played. But just run me through the making of this track and the thought behind involving the choir.
Yeah, so it has a very particular groove. If you listen to it, it's a groove that is inspired. Like for me, it was inspired by a couple of songs like A Odi Odi from Satya, A.R.
Yes,
Rahman has the same beat.
such a
And
A.R. Rahman vibe it had. Yes.
yeah, and the second one is Novocaine by Frank Ocean. So like
Ha.
very similar beats, and there are a lot of other songs also, but it's a groove that I feel like hasn't been used in any like song after that Rahman song that I heard. So I feel like I want to do something with that groove, basically. Particularly, that's how it started. And then the vocals are, you're right, it's very like in the Rahman territory of like almost being Bollywood, but then a little more modern in terms of production and all.
Yeah.
Uh, the melody, I wanted to keep it a little more like Indianized, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's how it came about. And then Molfa Choir is basically all the people, most of the people who worked on the video, I wanted them to be a part of the EP also. So I
Mm.
just went to the office one day and I was like, let's record all of you screaming Saat Khoon Maaf. And that's what we did. We recorded like 12, 15 people just like saying Saat Khoon Maaf. And that's in the track.
That is
It's
hilarious.
just,
Oh,
yeah,
one
it's just a
second.
chord.
Now it make one sec. Wolfa choir. Now it makes sense. I thought it's an actual choir.
I also wanted the word choir in one of my songs. So, you know.
Well done. I like this.
Yeah.
This actually reminds me of your really hilarious reel where you used a water droplet to do
Oh
the.
shit, yeah, that one. That one did really like when I shit post, it really does well more than when I sincerely post about my music. So I feel I can see my career arc now.
Shit
Shit post.
post more, yeah, more often. Okay, so
Yeah.
lovely. I love that track, and you also ended the video with it. So it was just, I was in. I was like, this is it. It was "Eh Udi Udi." It was "Oh Hamdam Sunyo Re." It was just a lot of those very iconic Rahman sounds that are stuck in our brain, in our blood, in our system. Somewhere the familiarity just hits us, and exactly what you said. Those kind of sounds haven't happened, and this is why I'm loving your project so much, because not only are there sonic variations within each track, but it's just bringing back so much. It's nostalgia plus new age. So it really
Yeah,
hits you.
exactly. That's how I felt while making the songs also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, lovely. Let's get to track two, which is ESWY. I was watching one of your interviews online, and you talked about how Sangeeta and you were just jamming on Kari Badaria. She was singing.
Yeah.
And then you decided to add your bits, which are away from the Thumri semi-classical zone. Tell me about the whole making. I'm guessing you all made it and then you played it to the rest of the team for the video, you know?
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to because I've grown up listening to a lot of like you remember the days of Coke Studio Pakistan season one, two, three, and like the really early stuff where folk
Yeah,
music was made with a
yeah,
lot of Western instrumentation and all that. So I really liked that whole sound, and it sort of like disappeared for a while there. So I was like, okay, I want to do something, bring it back a little bit, maybe in a
nice.
more modern contemporary pop setting. So like I was Sangeeta is the closest thing to a classical singer that I know in my life.
Okay.
I mean the closest person that I know who can do classical music. I guess that's how I should have phrased it. Um, but I was like, yeah, do you have any folk stuff, any old tunes that you that we can use royalty free? And then she was like, yeah, this is one tumri that my teacher used to teach, and apparently Girija Devi, the person who from like made this Tumri famous, I think, or even wrote it.
The
I
Queen of Thumri. Mm.
have to fact check this because I'm not sure. She Sanjita learned it from one of her disciples, I think. So yeah, so it was really like, oh, I was like, wow, this is great. We should do something. And then she sang it, I recorded it, and then I just naturally like sort of started producing it a little
Mm.
the way it's produced, and it sort of like hit me, oh, maybe I can do a verse here, and it'll be cool to like switch it up a little bit and and that's what came about, like the whole juxtaposition of the two of them.
But there are so many transitions in this song, from one space to
Yeah.
the other, and then back to the thumri, and then out again. And then, how did you just, I know I'm not a musician, but break it down for me as much as you can.
Yeah, so basically, it is very cinematic in that sense because I like my movement to my music to have more movement in
Mm,
terms of uh, with each every 15 seconds I sort of need like a new element. Like I'm not
yeah.
a person who's into loops a lot.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I like the music to evolve, and I've been such a musical person all my life with like, listening to all these different genres and all. So I sort of try to like incorporate everything that I hear while I'm making music into the track. So even with this song, like it starts with the tumri, then it's my verse, then it goes into a chorus, which is almost like a poppy,
Mm,
indie pop chorus. And then it goes into a part where I'm like, there's a banjo playing and Sangeeta singing the tumri again over the
yeah.
band. Then there's a part which is a very psychedelic indie pop sort of. The second verse is sort of like that,
Yeah.
where it comes from a lot of influences from the US, where I was into a Miami-based band called Magic City Hippies, and they used to write very psychedelic pop. So those elements came in there in the second verse out of nowhere. And yeah, and then the guitar thing, I just like playing guitar on. I feel like there should be more guitar. Like it used to be a
Yes.
thing where guitars was the in every song there were guitars in the 80s, 90s, and then suddenly it phased out in the 2000s, and now I'll bring
Bring
it
it
back,
back.
I think.
You are bringing it
Yeah.
back, and we love it. We
I
love
will.
it. No, but I love
Yes.
the fact that you said you don't like loops, because every other song today is a loop and it just gets so monotonous and boring as a listener.
Yeah.
What I remember is, for example, a song like Ramta Jogi. It is a 7.5 minute track, and the number of changes it has in it, but every change feels like the story is so smoothly progressing from one section to the other, and as a listener, you are singing along to every section because it's just that good. And that's what I felt with this track as well. I've had it playing non-stop for the past 1 week, and that song, when it starts and when it ends, I don't even realize, because I'm just singing along. So the transitions are smooth, and a lot of times when you're mixing genres and styles on a track, it can be jarring when you move from one space to the next. So kudos.
No, thank you. Yeah, I realize that it's a little bit of a ask with the attention spans of today for
Mm.
people to like, invest their times into their time into all this like music with a lot happening. Like I've been told by a prominent A&R person from a prominent label that SV, there is a lot of music happening in SV. That's what they said. So
What? And
I
that's
was
a
like,
bad thing?
yeah, I was like, is that a problem? But you know,
No.
I feel like the expectation from the industry is to just do stuff which is easily graspable, and I feel like I
I've,
don't want to do that.
yeah, because you're
I
really
want to
underestimating the audiences here.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Well said.
Oh, that's really tragic. So if we don't create amazing music that is different than just doing its own thing, then we're just underfeeding audiences and keeping their growth as listeners stunted as well. You know.
Exactly. And the audience will always find a way to reach out to these artists, people who are actually pushing the boundaries. Like it's
Yes.
never going to work. You can never contain the audience like that.
Exactly. And actual audience members who go out and look for music that suits their soul and that hits them, they will never settle for the
Yeah,
basic stuff.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm glad you work the way you do and don't listen to these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
no,
It's
say.
another conversation. I feel like with the labels and all, it's like a lot of artists are also like very afraid of, saying anything because everyone is trying to be on the label at this point.
Yeah, there are
And I
perks to
also
it.
work with a label. I work with a smaller label, Molfa, but
Yeah.
I feel like they're very supportive in a way that okay, they let me do things that I really want to do, and they let me have the musical freedom, and they provide me with a great team to shoot the video. So I'm happy where I am. But with the majors, it's a little bit of a problem where I feel like they're after something that they don't even know. Uh, like they don't really know what they're after, but they're after it's almost like they're after a trend rather than a new sound.
Mhm.
So that doesn't really work for me a lot of times.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for musicians like you. Please, these are conversations I keep having offline with a lot of people in the industry. So yes, we agree. I want to ask you about the lyrics on this. Very easy, simple, relatable lines you've written. for your part.
Mhm.
And did you, while writing it, think कि ये तो हम सब लड़के ऐसे ही सोचते हैं when we fall in love and when we are pining after a girl? So was that where it came from? Like, I gotta make these lines relatable, or were you just being autobiographical while writing?
It might be autobiographical from like when I was 21 maybe, but
Yeah.
I
Mm.
think it's also I am see it's I'm very like non-serious as a person. So it's for me it's a lot of like ironical things. It's a lot of satire
Ah.
on how boys are also. So it's very dramatic. Some lyrics are dramatic. Like Zakhum as a title is only very dramatic, and then
Yeah.
the lyrics I'm saying are also very dramatic because I
Very
want to be that
filmy.
person.
Yeah.
I want to in a way, for me, the thing is that I want to like tell you how stupid boys are when sometimes they're in love. Um, and maybe some incels will relate to those lyrics, so it works for me, like in both ways. Like I have the girl audience who knows that this is like a dramatic, like yeah, he's dramatizing all these words, and then there are actual boys who will be like, yeah, I feel like that. I feel like I have been wounded. So it works for me in both ways. I get both audiences.
Okay, that makes sense. One
Yeah.
more thing that I noticed was that because Sangeeta's singing in such a different space compared to all your verses, it also kind of lends to why these two protagonists probably cannot meet because they are from different worlds. I think that also sonic difference lent well to the story in the video.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was something y'all were thinking.
The Sonic, can you rephrase that?
The sort of genre space and the sonic difference between Sangeeta and you
Mhm.
also lent itself to the story of the saat, janam, and you not getting the girl, because it kind of also feels like दोनों बहुत ही अलग दुनिया के हैं. Maybe those worlds
हाँ,
will not meet.
that I mean that is your interpretation of it, which
Okay.
is great. Like, I never thought of it like that, but it actually works now that I think about it. That
हाँ.
is also
Okay.
something that works. So yeah, it just goes to show how
So
multi-layered
many
the
layers, exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Opium. I love this track. I love
yeah.
it. It's such a bop. It's just got this beautiful pop vibe, which I feel a lot of Vishal Shekhar stuff was like that when they first got into the movies, even Shankar Ehsaan Loy. And those songs Jaane Tu, like those kind of songs, like they work in regular life beyond the film as well, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is a track that I definitely want to see live someday, but that I can loop for days and just get ready to go out, drive, whatever. It's just anytime, any day sort of song. He is falling for the girl. It's like an emotional free fall is happening in the track. And tell me what the mood was in the studio while you were making it and why you chose Ravi.
So basically, this, like I said, it was made like 4 or 5 weeks before the EP actually came out because I already had the beat. Like I wanted to do something in the very 2000s vibe. Like I was a big fan of Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, Pharrell Williams growing up,
We
and
were
like you
all.
said, like really Vishal Shekhar stuff.
Huh.
So it was in a very similar like zone of the 2000s sound where 2000 like that was a time when producers defined the sound. Like Pharrell Williams had a sound, the Neptunes had a sound, Timbaland had a sound.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do something. So I made a beat like that sort of vibe, in that sort of vibe. And then eventually this, like I was just like fucking around with that beat and I was trying to sing melodies and all. And the hook came to me, which was a very Indian Bollywood hook. Like it's a very old, it can be like a very old, like you remember those songs where Raghav, this artist Raghav, who was,
Of
I think,
course.
UK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We were playing him on the radio forever in
Uh,
Dubai.
so he was doing stuff like Kabhi Yaar Kabhi Baar in
Yeah.
his songs, sampling stuff. So it's like a very that sort of melody. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was just like a fun dance track, nothing else. I just wanted because those songs were just about if you listen to any Justin Timberlake song, the lyrics are not making much sense, but they're making you feel a way.
Yeah.
And that's what the song is about. It's the music that is making you move a certain way and making you feel a certain way, and that's what it does. That's what Opium does to me also. And I wanted a particularly a rap verse, like an American sounding rap verse because of the American influence of the music.
Mm, mm.
Like I really wanted like a verse, and then Dovi is someone who I met at Berkeley only, and we worked on some Red Bull projects before this, but like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, do you want to hop on this one original song of mine? And he was like, yeah, I'm down. And that's it. I just sent him the song. He sent me the verse, like the first take he sent me. I was like, yeah, this is it, and locked.
Oh man, that's amazing. All you Berkeley graduates together on this. Even Sangeeta is, you
I
know?
don't think he went to Berkeley, but he was doing like a semester. You know
Okay.
how you do student exchange and all that. So I think he was
Ha.
doing.
Okay.
But he's
He,
phenomenal. Like he's a great rapper. He lives in Brooklyn now, and he's just like doing music, and he's a model also. He just
oh,
all around.
nice. Lovely. So like you said, it sounded like a double entendre. Opium, puts you in a zone, in a trance, and this song is about that feeling of not knowing what you're doing when you're in love. You're so lost in it, and you're so drugged by it, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word. So, how did the music for this? What? Not really. You already told me the music you had already made, but when
Mhm.
you were making it with Dovi, sorry, am I saying it right?
I honestly, this is his first song as this new artist. So
Yeah.
his name is Tyler actually. So I don't know how he says it. He hasn't said that to me yet. So
Oh, okay.
just go
Okay.
with
I'll go
whatever.
with
Like you say
Davi.
Dovey, I'll say Dovey.
Dove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when the doves
Unpacking.
cry. When the doves cry happens. Okay,
True.
so was it it was the beat and the vibe of the track first, and then he came in with the lyrics. Was there a lot of rewriting that happened, or was it just smooth?
No rewriting. Again, like people told me that I should change up the lyrics, or maybe, I'm not like I was told that the lyrics need to be like about something deeper, like they need to make more sense, not deeper, but like they need to. But I was like, man, this like it's perfectly making sense to me, and like the way sometimes it's not about analyzing the lyrics, it's also
Mhm.
about how they sound, like
Yeah.
the how it's fit into the melody, and sometimes that's
Yes.
better than putting in a word that will make more sense lyrically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just a vibe track. So, there were no
Good
changes like
call.
that. Sangeeta has also sung the female hook. It's like at the back, but that's Sangeeta singing the hook with me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That is such a good point. Like sometimes you don't need to put in that lyric that makes more sense,
Exactly.
but just flow with the vibe of the
Yeah,
music.
fully. Like even like the chorus is a little bit of a cliche lyrically if you look at it like Opia. But I feel
Yeah.
like if I replace it with anything more meaningful, it's not going to hit the way it hits.
It hits,
Look,
it really does. Yeah.
look at the new Justin Bieber album. There's like it has the most cliched lyrics, but the songs are like Yukon is such a
Mhm.
banger. And Daisies has like very, very cliched lyrics, but like it's the
It
production, it's the
works.
song. Yeah, it
Yeah.
works.
I love it. I hope this track gets a video.
Yeah, I hope so too. I
Oh,
actually did a reel for it with Fardeen Khan and Kareena Kapoor from a movie, dancing to it.
oh, I saw that.
And that reel did really well, and it got me like a lot of fans of Opium. Like it took up the streams by like more than any playlist could.
Oh,
So
damn. There you
yeah,
go. Just shit post more often. I saw that
it
reel.
was, that's the way. That's the
That's
way.
the way to go. Love it. Okay, now we reach the midpoint where you bring Saat Khoon Maaf back. Part two happens, and this is also one of my favorite tracks. It's so easy to consume. It's so fun, and I feel like this also, along with Opium, could be one of those songs that goes big from the project. But I just love how cutely it's all about the boy who's now exhausted. He's just like, okay, what is happening? Throw anything at me and I'll take it. And it's very playful, right? In its energy. And Frappe is the
Yeah,
perfect person, I think, to bring. I can see
for
why
sure.
So tell me about this one.
Yeah, no, you're pretty spot on with the interpretations. Like that's great. I think this one was again like this was the one of the Sat like I made all three Satpun maps in one day. So this was like I want to do like I did the first one which sounded like like a Bollywoodish
Yeah.
Nova King Frank Ocean X AR Rahman sound, and then I was like I want to do something like there's some like cool hyper pop stuff that I'm listening to, and a lot of that sort of like overwhelming senses production. Um, so I made the beat and I just was like, okay, this is a like I felt like doing like very low key vocals there where this person is like just like done like you said, just like at this point, I don't care, just kill me
Yeah.
again if you want. That's how it came to me, and then obviously Frappe is the person to go for that really nonchalant, if you want like a nonchalant rap verse which is like fun and melodic, and you know Frappe is the
Doesn't take
guy.
itself seriously. Yeah. Yeah. He's the guy.
Yeah. So he also like sent me two versions. One of them was a little more rappy. And this is the first time I heard him like send me a very singy version. Like I haven't heard Frappe sing so much. And I feel like he sung a lot in this one.
Huh.
So, and it's really fire, like the melodies and all.
It
So
was. Was it challenging though, to keep to get
to
the
do his
lyrics right
vocals.
and to get those vocals.
Uh, no, not really. Like whatever he sent me in the second version, we just used it. It just like fit perfectly. Like he also is a person who's really honest with his lyrics. Like he speaks from life experiences and then, just bears it all. And it made a lot of sense with the verse that I had.
Your
So it fit
verse
perfect.
was very what's the word I'm looking for? Very emotionally exhausted, but yet cheerful. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Was a
It's like you are on something, like you're going through a breakup, but then you are on some kind of drug while you're going through it. That is how the verse
You're
is.
too cheerful for the breakup. And then Frappe comes in winking at the chaos.
Yeah. I feel like it's being either you're drunk or you're high on something and you're talking about your shitty experience that you've had with this person. And that's it. It ties again to junkie, right? In a way.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And there were female vocals on this as well, no?
There was a sample. It was a splice sample of someone
Okay.
singing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Okay, let's move to social anxiety. This is, I think, the most hard relate track for most guys,
Oh yeah.
especially when I feel because Wolf opens his thing with that came saw awkward line,
Yes.
which
That's
cracks
yeah,
me up
that
every
line.
time I hear it. I think
So fun.
that's most guys' story. Came saw awkward in front of the girl, especially.
For sure. And Wolfie is just generally such a funny guy also. And it really shows in his verses, like his personality just comes out like that.
Huh. I've heard a couple of his songs. I haven't been through a lot of his catalog, but I get that vibe. So how did this one come about sonically planning it? It's the most sort of anxious track on the EP, and the beat came first, the concept, Wolfie's collab. What was first?
So basically, Prithvi, my friend who also is from Bombay, great producer, he sent me this beat. He sent me like
Oh.
the beat which had like drums and guitars and like a little bit of keys and all.
Mm.
And he was like, do something with it. And that's how I started. Like I just started freestyling on it, trying to sing some melodies and all, and wanted to do like a really falsetto, like "Dekho main jahan bhi just nishan." I feel like a lot of people don't do a lot of falsetto, like Childish Gambino-esque vocals in their music. And I feel like I wanted to explore that a little bit.
I love that. It actually took me back to Michael Jackson for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
And then that came, yeah. So I just wrote my part first, and then uh, I had a second verse, but it wasn't feeling great. Like it was feeling like I was trying to just fill in a second verse. So I was like, okay. Yuvraj introduced me to Wolfie, and Yuvraj
Oh.
was like, you should meet this guy, like you'll connect. And we actually did. We like met one day in Bombay, and we really like had a fun hang. And then I just sent him the track, and he was like immediately on it. He loved the hook. He loved everything about it,
Mm.
and he sent me a verse. Uh, Again, which like I feel like my when I was writing social anxiety, it came from a place of like the first verse is like astrology ho jaane mere man ki baatein wo. So it's like you're sitting in a date, but you're not. It's like one of those dates where you go because you've been heartbroken, right? So that's the perspective of that date for me.
Ah, got it.
I'm like not really into. I'm like just sitting there, and I'm like, how many times am I going to swipe right and go on dates like this? It's coming from that place.
So
Uh,
relatable in today's times.
Yeah, and for Wolfie, I guess it came from a different place. Like his verse talks about having his voice is more SV than mine in this. Like in that he is talking about this one person maybe he's really into,
Mm.
and they are not giving him the bhav that he deserves.
Yeah,
So,
deserves awards.
or yeah, once. But again, in a very like both of us are being really like funny in
Yeah.
this. It's a little more like ironic as a song. It's like, Wolfie's like, I just broke out of jail, just hopped on a train and all that. So
So I love it.
yeah, that's
So
yeah.
so the collaboration definitely then strengthened the narrative of the song uh, from that
But
perspective.
definitely, yeah. I guess it made it also a little less serious and more like,
Ah,
okay, just being dramatic about this whole thing.
yeah,
Which is fun. I like it's a more fun song now with Wolfie in it.
yeah.
So
That dramatic side of boys has to also come out now because everyone
yeah,
gets dramatic and
for
filmy
me,
at some point. Hmm.
yeah. For me, SV is a comedy drama album. It's not a serious album.
I like it. I
It's a
like it.
comedy drama album. Yeah.
So the hook with the ad libs and the guitar, how did the ad libs in this come out? This is really funny.
What are the ad libs? I don't even remember what.
It was
Uh,
during Wolfie's verse.
Oh yeah. I mean, he sent me
It's
the whole thing.
just
He sent me all the layers. He had ad libs on it, and um, we like it. The way it starts with like came so conquered, came so awkward, and then there's this like a really cheesy piano '90s like smooth jazz porn music playing behind when he says came so conquered, came, because we wanted it to be that sort of a aesthetic where it's like, okay, this boy is being really cheesy, corny right now.
so you got to add to that mood.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
add to
with the
that, you
music.
go all out with the corniness.
Yeah,
And
lean
it's the
in.
same, like his ad libs have a lot of reverb. It's like, if you ask me to see me, I will see you, girl, see you, girl, see you, girl. It's like a very like, those early Bollywood reverbs that keep going on,
Yeah,
whatever delays and all. So thoda, like went all out with that corniness in the song.
I love it. But
Yeah.
social anxiety itself, as the title, is it just hit home because I was like, all guys have it.
Yeah.
I may be
Yeah.
generalizing, but most guys.
Most guys, most people, not just guys, I feel like a lot of women also have it.
Even I have
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not just about a person, honestly. Like my pre-chorus where I go like देखो मैं जहाँ भी जिस दिशा में हाँ मिलाते सब. It's about all the experiences I've had, the experiences I've had with labels, the experiences I've had with people who are like, you should change up your music like this. And then just like me trying to fit in and talk to these people just because they are important people, and I'm having social anxiety. So that's also one aspect of it.
Hmm.
Just overall social anxiety, not just related to like dates, but in
Right.
general.
In
Like,
general,
yeah,
in life, trying to explain yourself to people.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Nice. I like that layer. We all have it.
yeah.
So then we move to Zakham, which, like the Bollywood movie, very dramatic in its title. And now
With Mithun movie, or who is it in
I
it?
wasn't it
Mithun.
Ajay Devgan? No.
Ajay Devgan, right,
है
right,
ना?
not Mithun,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
Zakham happened. So now she's breaking up with him. She's leaving him crying. And it's like the
yeah.
big emotional climax in the story. And
Yeah.
yeah, I want to know what was the writing process like for this with Faisal and why
This
Faisal?
was I feel like this song was done before SV also. This was like I had finished the song. Again, this was a song where my second verse, I wasn't feeling the second verse. I felt the first verse was really strong, the hook was strong, but the
Huh.
second verse was feeling like a filler verse. So I think this song was probably, I made the beat probably when I was in Berkeley, like 2019.
Oh,
Um, it's an
damn.
old, it's an old beat, and then we changed it up quite a bit,
Okay.
but it's the core is still the same, and very like a very sort of experimental electronic R&B sound. This song
Hmm.
has a lot of underground influences for this one, so not a very mainstream sound. There are horns in the chorus, and
Yes.
like having like, yes, you
No,
want to say something?
the horns. I was gonna ask you. Tell me
Yeah,
how.
yeah. So the thing with horns, I'll tell you something about horns. Like if you put horns in a song, a lot of people in India tell me that it sounds like a talk show, like a Jimmy Fallon. You know, a lot of people get that image of a talk show in their head when they hear horns,
Okay.
or they get the image of Dev like emotional atyachar. Like it's either the Shadi band or it's like Jimmy Fallon. So and I get it. It's like a cultural reference. The
Yeah.
horn not a thing in Indian
Reference.
music.
Yeah.
Uh,
We need to
as
change
much as they
that.
are in, yeah, and like with me, like when I was studying in Berkeley and like when I lived in New York for a bit, and there were like a lot of hip hop bands with like live horns and all that stuff. So for me, it's a completely different reference. Horns is like, for me, it's like D'Angelo. It's like R&B music from the late 90s.
Yeah.
So I came here, I made people listen to Zakman. They were like, "Oh, this sounds like a Jimmy Fallon." I was like, "Really?" And that sort of threw me off. So I also like honestly took out a lot of horns because of that comment. I think because it really made me think about how culture influences how people hear things. And I did not want to sound like a talk show song to a lot of people.
But they
But
sounded
I kept,
so good, and I felt like
yeah.
बहुत कम use हुआ track पे.
I kept the ones in the hook because I really liked them. I removed quite a bit of them because I wanted it to be a little more culturally relevant because anyway, the song is very experimental, I feel. Um, so that, and then Faisal, again, like I've just been a fan of his production, his songwriting, everything. So I just hit him up and he was interested. He liked the song. He immediately sent me a verse in like 2 days. And this is the first time also he's like going like with his Faisal thing, like his Katopis thing was more like singy stuff. And with Faisal, I think he's into rapping more.
Hmm.
So he sent me like one of like the most fire rap verse I could hear in this song. And I was sold.
Honestly, his verse is one of my favoriteest things on the project. This
Yeah,
track,
for sure.
immediate. The first time I listened to the EP start to finish, this one popped at me for his verse and the entire sort of story in the song. It almost felt like both of you are singing about the same heartbreak in two different ways.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I loved it.
Urdu, so which is like great. Like I love people who can rap in Urdu.
Yeah,
That's great.
so strong.
Yeah.
He is with that. But I'm now sad knowing that you removed a lot of the horns. Anyway,
Yeah, not a lot, like a little bit, like in the intro, because the intro it reminded them of a talk show, and I was like, okay, I see it, I see it.
oh, intro me. Okay.
Yeah,
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 there it might have. Yeah. Through the track, maybe not so much, but I
yeah,
noticed it in the second half of the track. That's where.
yeah,
Mm. But anyway, that
yeah.
section specifically reminded me of a 70s Hindi film kind of soundtrack chal rahi hai. And I didn't have the Dev D sort of reference point in my head. But I can tell
Yeah,
why
that's
that's
what
more massy,
it's interesting how people relate to certain sounds in India. Like a lot of Western sounds are very much related to the pop culture reference they have of that sound. Like
Yeah.
horns is a, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm a
so
salsa dancer, so I'm into Latin jazz
exactly.
for a long
Like,
time.
yeah,
So it's very standard and it adds so much texture to the song.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like so much Latin music. Like, yeah, like, songs like back then, like Smooth, the song that blew up in the
yeah.
2000s, like the
Oof.
horns make that. Yeah,
Classic. Okay, and then we
yeah.
move into Everything Sucks About You, which was Saat Khoon Maaf Part 3, formerly known as. Again, this feels like a breakup lullaby. Now he is alone wondering what he did wrong. Mujh mein kya kami thi? What is missing
Yeah.
in me? So what were you feeling when you wrote it? Were you channeling your breakup emo boy? Um,
I think I was channeling because I hadn't had a recent experience like that. So I had to like go back into my
Relive.
brain, yes, and relive that moment, those moments of being like very dramatic during a breakup, and but also actually feeling it because I really liked, like, this was a track which was very much in my zone, where it's a very singer-songwriter track if you listen to it.
Yeah.
I really, it's a very like, like, I have used like synths and stuff, like very much inspired by like people like Daniel Caesar and like very slow R&B artists.
Yeah.
So it's really like a very emotional, the chords are very emotional, so it just makes you sing a very emotional thing on top of it. So
Mm. It kind of after Zakham and the intensity of the breakup in Zakham that you're feeling, it's kind of like, okay, boy has had a night out. He's had his drinks vented to his friends. Now he's come home and before falling asleep, he's in the sad,
yeah,
sad emo zone.
exactly.
And
It's
then
the,
he's singing to
yeah,
himself, falling asleep is that's what
that's
it is.
exactly, for sure. That's exactly what it is. Like night out of drinking, and then you are still drunk, but then all your friends have left, and you're alone.
That's the moment. Got
Yeah.
beautifully, loved it. And also the piano outro in this, I feel like it was sad, but it was also kind of playful. So again,
Mm.
that whole sort of whimsical side to it, where हाँ ठीक है हो गया breakup. Now we get back into the same loop again, and then it goes back to point one of the story. What was that? Why? How did you plan that?
Um, it happened very organically. I made the song and I was like, okay, now this song. When I ended my verse, I was like, I need, because it's like a setting where you're drunk and sitting alone. Like
Mm,
maybe this drunk and alone person is listening to like very slow midnight jazz music right now,
mm,
and that's like I wanted to paint the whole picture of the scene. So that's how the jazz sample came in.
yeah,
And then
nice.
I wanted it because it's so much about the seven lives thing and like how you're reborn and the cycle of rebirth. So I wanted the EP to also like be reborn again. And that's how I placed like the needle, the vinyl is stuck on forever, forever, forever. And then it just loops back to
Loose
the
back.
first.
Oh, that was a vinyl ka needle. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
now I
yeah.
get it. I
Yeah.
love that. I messaged you about that. Yeah.
You did, yeah. I'm glad you caught that because uh, I feel like people did catch that, but not many people reached out to me saying, "Oh, the loop." Like I was like unsure if I did a good enough job to loop it all the way back to the first song.
I was
But I'm,
listening to the album on loop anyway. So it was so
hmm,
smooth. I didn't realize when track one had started playing.
hmm,
So that's what happened to me
yeah.
till I picked up the iPad and saw. But okay, so now we've gone track by track. It has ended. Um, I want to know what was the hardest part about making SV?
The marketing, it's always the marketing.
Okay, go to the music comes easy.
Music is the like it's something that comes very naturally, and it's the I for me it's personally the marketing. Like I am not a person who is very active on social media and who does a lot of like interaction, like face interaction with people who follow me. So I'm only starting to do that now because I think that's the only thing that works now in terms of marketing. And thankfully, I had a great team of people with at Jugaad, and Yuvraj and everyone just like conceptualized, helped me out with promotions a lot. We made a whole page, SV Private Limited on Instagram. Yuvraj will talk more about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll deep dive.
Yeah. So for me, it was that. Just
It was the marketing aspect. But I have to say that the marketing aspect of it has been done so uniquely and in such a standout way that I cannot praise it enough. Y'all have gone to levels of creativity. Even if you keep the video aside, the Instagram of SV Private Limited, all the posts leading up to the release, the entire concept of what SV does and fixing you is, its job.
yeah,
And then you posting about it, them taking over your Instagram, all of that,
yeah, because it's also
brilliant.
because we had like 50 people working, dedicating 6 months of their lives to this project. So we had a lot of ideas and inputs from a lot of people, and it really worked out.
That's great. That's such a good case study that sometimes too many cooks don't spoil the broth. They
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
make it better, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, there was only a few cooks, like most of them were sous chefs, I think. But yes, it helped. It
It
helped.
does help. Yeah. Okay, so you've kind of already touched on this, but um you've refused to sort of stay in one genre space in your music making. And do you constantly feel the pressure from audiences and industry people, labels, platforms to kind of fit yourself into that mold?
I not from the audiences because I know people will fuck with whatever you put out if they actually fuck with the actual song. It's like I don't think people listen to music like genres.
Yes.
It's a very marketing thing
Yeah.
to like label music under genres. Like people enjoy good sounds. That's what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
With labels, I was under pressure. I felt like this with SV. I've let go of that. I honestly do not at this point care if I get signed to a major label or not. Like at this point, I'm just going to release music, and I've made my peace with that.
Okay. So that doesn't bother you. It's good because, it's a world of short attention spans, singles, and you kind of committed to a full narrative EP based on one idea for one single and its video. So I think that just shows that you're like, okay, screw it. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, and all the art, like I'm sure, yeah, sure, major labels like really take you to that next level once you are already an established artist. But I feel like most artists who've become established, at least in India, have done on their own, and then maybe a major has picked them up and taken
Yeah.
them to up a notch. But it's
Yeah.
the initial part of it is just you doing your thing.
Your thing.
Yeah,
And to stick to doing your thing, even when you take that next step.
yeah, for sure.
So with SV, what would the success of the project look like to you? Is it numbers, impact, or is it something more personal?
I think it's already successful. The day
Yeah.
it was like released, that was the success point. Obviously, numbers do matter to all of us, like, as much as we hate that, but it does matter that it is reaching out to people, and um, it has managed to do, like, for me, pushing it as an almost like half independent, half label release. It's almost like that. That's how I can quantify this.
Yeah.
It has managed to do well. The song Opium, which I had a lot of faith in, has managed to do well on its own, based on a shit post reel, and people have connected with the song. So that says something about the song, I guess.
Yeah.
And with SV, the video was phenomenal. It reached out to people. I feel like it elevated the song so much more.
The
Um,
scene, it elevated the scene.
yeah, exactly. And so that's like success, honestly.
The creative satisfaction is it, Um, uh,
Exactly. Like the more you chase after numbers, then you will never be satisfied, I guess, because it's like money, right? How much money is enough? So
yeah.
how many streams are enough?
Yeah, exactly. Um, this is just for musicians out there who are scared to experiment and do their thing and try to fit the mold and the formula that they think will work. Um, do you try to balance experimentation with accessibility in the music, or do you suggest to them like forget all that, just make your music your way?
I do a little bit try to balance it, I think, because
Hmm.
I have been around so many people, and also at Berkeley my professors were all like hit makers, so like there was a lot of that idea of like, okay, your music should be accessible, because then who are you making music for? So that, and I also sort of relate to it a little bit, yes, that my music should not be so esoteric also that people are not
Yeah.
able to grasp
Connect
anything.
with it. Yeah, true.
Connect with it. And like me, even though I've studied all these different genres, jazz and everything, I still like the very simple songs that I like. Like I still like a new Justin Bieber album, and I still like the old Justin Timberlake or whatever Pharrell Williams album, which are like simple records.
Mhm.
So it comes naturally to me to make music that is more poppy and accessible. But at the same time, a lot of my influences seep in, like you said, like the songs have so many like different instrumentations and like
Yeah.
diversifications that evolve. So I feel like that's not something that's commercially viable, but I still do it.
But you make it palatable at the same time,
Yeah,
easily.
I hope so, because like that's for the audience to decide. I know. Anyway, no, I don't want to get into more label bashing. It's fine.
Okay. We've done enough. No,
Yeah.
but say it, it'll help musicians.
No, I'm just saying, like, if people are trying to like, when you're pitching a song to a label and they're like completely trying to like change up the sound that came very instinctively out of you,
Mm,
that you really believe can work, but then someone is like, oh, maybe you should change this up to that, and they are saying it from their experience, and they haven't even made the song, and they don't even connect with the song the same way that you do.
mm.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to really trust your instinct over like the top guy out there who's trying to change it up.
Okay. I feel
Yeah.
like labels do get a bad name. At the end of the day, those executives are trying to protect their investment and things like that. From their perspective, they're just trying to contribute with what they think could be this thing. They're not evil people per se, but their understanding is what it is for whatever reasons. Um, but
Yeah.
as an artist, you gotta know when to, like, you remove the horns, for example, because you saw some merit in that feedback. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So it's
For
about
sure.
being stubborn with your art, but also flexible enough to take feedback and think about it.
Definitely, yeah. Like even with Molfa, Pranit is the one that I sent the songs to first, and he has some really legit feedback that I actually listened to.
Mm. Okay.
Um, like even with Social Anxiety, it had more of an English verse in the beginning, the first version, and then I wrote it in Hindi because Pranit suggested I try writing it in Hindi, and it actually ended up being a stronger verse, I think. So
Nice.
definitely, there's really great people who work for labels that I personally also know.
Mm.
But a lot of times it's just, I feel like you should never compromise on something that you truly believe in just because a label is giving you a lot of money to make the song.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, amazing. So tell me one thing about the independent music scene, non-film music scene in India that gives you hope, and one thing that frustrates you.
Um, Gives me hope is that now we have such an ecosystem where people are coming in for shows. Like if Char Diwali does a show tomorrow, there's going to be like 500 people showing up, even more. I don't know.
Mm.
So that's great. Like, right, he like literally like on Instagram, he was able to like build this audience.
Mm.
And literally anyone can do that if they have a strong enough vision and good enough music.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that the future is sort of like more democratic in that way.
Yeah.
Um, the frustrating part is that there's a overload of content, and the content is less about music now and more about how you present it to the audience or
Mm.
like it's no more the era of the mysterious artist, which I feel like I would have fit into perfectly. But unfortunately, you have to be a very extroverted person now, and also just like really push your music and really talk about yourself like you are the shit, which I was never good at doing, but I'm learning. So
Okay.
uh, but it still frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, I think most of the time that is what needs to be done. And normally in that regard is Talvinder, who hasn't shown his face till today,
Yeah,
but has built his following and cult fans. But yeah, it is the scene of the industry today. You gotta be out there.
yeah.
But I think if you keep making music the way you do and showcasing it in the way you have, I don't think anyone can sort of say it's lacking anywhere, you know?
And yeah, I'm just letting the music do most of the talking. Like even though I am like making reels where I'm like interacting more and all that stuff now to push the music, but I still feel like the music will only travel as much as the music will travel and not the
Mm,
other stuff around it.
mm. but the video has traveled and we will get into it. But before Yuvraj joins us, I want to ask you, if someone only had time to listen to one track from SV, which one would you want that track to be and why?
Opium all day. Uh, it's just my favorite. It's like it hits a nostalgia spot for me.
Mm,
Musically, I love it the way it has come out.
mm,
Uh, and I really feel like it's catching the early wave of a 2000s comeback, which is due.
mm.
So I really have high hopes for this song.
Okay, lovely. Guys, start with Opium and then hop onto the video of SV. Then you'll be hooked to SV also. Hey guys, Real Talk continues. This is part two, and we are now joined by the amazing Yuvraj Jago, who is
Hello.
the director of the music video slash film of SV. Hi, Yuvraj.
Hello,
Welcome.
how are you doing?
Doing good. So excited to talk to you both together about this
Yeah,
video.
the same.
It is game changing. It is scene elevating. It has given me hope like nothing else. As soon as I watched it, before I could even release my reaction, I posted a story about it because I was like, guys, go and watch this now. I don't know what you guys were on when you were making it, but it
A lot
has
of
given
things.
so much it has given so much joy to someone like me who watches videos and songs and reviews stuff every day. And uh I've been like craving something groundbreaking. So happy you guys
Thank
made
you
this.
so much.
So I'm going to ask you, I've been picking at little things and, frame by frame. So I have a lot of questions. And there's a viewer of mine who was as obsessed with this video as me. His name's Ankur Sharma. He sent in some questions as well. So all of
Okay.
that is coming at you now.
Interesting. Okay. Nice.
Cool. So Aman told me that y'all were just, you heard the first track, the main track, the title track, and then in the meeting and while ideating, someone suggested the saat janam thing, right? And that was the starting point. So tell me about that. How did you build on that initial thought? Um, and and Aman also, you can hop in and tell me how involved you were in the process of the visual making thing. And like, you guys take the floor. Start from the start.
Yeah, so almost like, you know what, Aman, actually, exactly on this day is when we came up with the idea. Shivani just told me, exactly today.
What? Are you
Yeah,
21st
sure?
July, we're recording.
yeah.
That
So, exactly today, a year ago, all of us were like in a really bad place. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know actually, बाकियों के हाल था. I'm just assuming कि people are feeling the same thing that I was. But essentially, we were at a very bad place where emotionally we were drowned. Relationships are very effed. Can I abuse?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, no, because it's very funny. We've stopped abusing amongst us.
I've
It's
already
become
done
a
it like
thing.
5 times.
So I keep saying F, which is very weird. Anyway,
Bye.
but okay. So everything was quite messed up, and in all of that, you usually look for something. Some people go for gym, some people go for like alcohol, drugs, or parties, or like a vacation. Usually with creatives, it's like probably him making a song would be his way. Me coming up with an idea would be my way. So
Mm,
this song was always there lingering, and we were supposed to make a concept for it. So I
mm,
came back from Jaipur to Bombay, and we sat on it for like 2 3 days. We spent, and nothing particularly was clicking. I think it was because of the state we were in, but we were like, हाँ ये हो सकता है, and we started playing with the idea of like something to do with time travel. And like there's a short film called 1 minute something in which a guy tries to impress a girl and he keeps pressing the button. He comes back again because now he knows what to tell her. And YouTube पे है एक short film. So something like that is where it started. And अभी मैंने literally 4 5 concept देखे जो हमने लिखे थे. उसमें एक था कि क्या कहते हैं, कोई डेंटिस्ट के वेट करे बाहर एंड थिंग्स कीप लूपिंग. एंड एक और कॉन्सेप्ट था जिसमें एक शादी वाली दुल्हन भाग रही है, समथिंग एल्स. In all of this somehow कुछ merge होके just सात जन्म वाला pop in हुआ.
mm.
And that just caught us. Like we immediately knew, okay, wait, this is suddenly making the whole thing very not only Indian but very relevant, very something everyone can just think of, but
Yeah.
no one has thought of it like this, like
Huh.
with a sci-fi fantasy angle. Immediately we knew, heard the song again, we knew, bro, ये तो बैठ रहा है पूरा, like गाना गाने में बैठ रहा है काफी ज्यादा.
Mm,
And then we just got into like elevating it. So the next 6 8 months was literally elevating the concept of what all can happen in the Sajanam thing. I
mm.
immediately in the night I had a call with Aman. क्या कहते हैं, आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई वाज नर्वस देन, बट आई वाज थिंकिंग पता नहीं अप्रूव होगा या नहीं. उस टाइम वो स्टेट ही ऐसा था कि सब चीज़ लाइक हम लोग तो वर्स्ट ऑफ द वर्स्ट है ना, हमें कुछ आता है. दैट्स द स्टेट वी वर इन. जबकि
Right.
idea बहुत sorted था. And then once I
Yeah.
pitched it to him, exactly the reaction I got is when I realized, no, this is it. This is that idea. He's also flipping. The only question all of us had is कि ये कैसे करेंगे? But that's kind of how it came into being. And like Om Shanti Om and Everything Every All at Once, two of our favorite movies were always floating around when the idea came, which
Yeah.
confirmed in our heads that this is something that has to be made because it's been made in some way before, but not like this.
Not
So we
like
were like, we
this.
can mix it all up and make something crazy, which is perfect for this generation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect for this generation. Exactly. It is not the Karan Arjun type, the overly
Yeah.
dramatic, this thing. It's just the
Yeah.
way you put it all together is so
Yeah.
easy to consume for someone today.
Yeah.
Very well put. Aman, you heard it and you knew this is it. This is the idea.
I had the same fear actually. My first fear was कि ये तो Karan Arjun तो नहीं बन जाएगा. But then these guys really, because it was just a concept initially, and then
Yeah.
eventually when I like saw what they were doing, like slowly they started pitching me things, like sending me references. Yeah, this is definitely
Hmm.
going to be like something. And
Okay.
yeah, eventually like with everyone that we had on board and like the sponsors and everything, and like we got the monies to do this and finally do it, and turned out to be like a great, like one of the best things I've worked on.
So you had to pitch it. You had to pitch the idea and get the funding for it before you could go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah,
with
yeah.
it, है ना?
It was a mix. Essentially,
Okay.
a little bit. So I pitched it to Jugaad, my seniors.
Yeah.
They totally messed with the idea, but again, they knew this is not a simple idea. You need a lot of money to pull this off. Obviously, we can't just put all the money into a project like this.
Yeah.
And no one is doing that these days. It's almost impossible to do. It's not like people aren't ready to put it in. It's
Yeah.
too big a risk. And like especially with the music video, तो anyway, it's a risk. कहाँ ही उसका
Yeah.
return मिलने वाला है? It's not like a film, and nor are people doing it in films unless there's a
Hmm.
big star involved. So
Hmm.
we had an option to either do it in very less money or kind of figuring out the money for it. Very less
Hmm.
money would have meant a very like green screen लगा के ऐसा funny video होता वो,
Hmm.
and which we definitely didn't want to do. Option 2 was letting go of the idea. No one was ready for that. Option 3 was finding
Yeah.
sponsors. So we spent like a month or so pitching to like 25 different brands. And 2-3 रात बैठ के हम लोग सब huddle up होके एक के बाद एक हमने decks बनाए different, and we prepared like different pitches. And yeah, just we went for it, and the pitches were great. Like everyone was quite blown away by the whole thing, despite it having not much going for it. Like
Hmm.
if we were going for like a Diljit Dosanjh kind of a music video, or if Jugaad was a really big Yash Raj kind of a place, एक बार को लोग commit करे. But हमारे पास technically कुछ नहीं था. It was a
Hmm.
combination of all these small small things combining along with the concept to become something.
Hmm.
And I guess the passion. तो वो जब pitch हुआ तो all of them were excited. Most of them weren't ready to put in the money. In
Hmm.
came Zepto. And yeah, was the rest is history.
Zepto saved the day as it does
For
every
real,
day.
for real. And it was funny because हम लोग Zepto बहुत मंगवाते थे. तो हम लोग क्या है ना, we are very much into reading the signs कि यार ये हो रहा है, maybe ये. तो Zepto रोज मंगवा रहे हैं, and then one day someone mentioned Zepto का contact मिला है. तो we just looked at each other कि maybe this is it. Maybe
Hmm.
it's all being leading up to that, and like it happened.
It happened. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm shout out to Zepto for believing in the vision.
Shout out to Zepto, bro, for real.
Because honestly, the scene needed this, and it pains me to hear this whole story because इतने बड़े आर्टिस्ट के इतने बड़े बजट्स होते हैं म्यूजिक वीडियोस के, और वो बस कहीं फॉरेन जाके गाड़ियां लड़कियों के साथ शूट करके आ जाते हैं, एंड दोज
Yeah.
आर योर बिग बजट वीडियोस, you know, high production value videos. And here you guys have gone beyond imagination, like, you know, broken all barriers, and you were struggling to get funding to get it off the ground. But
Yeah.
I think it's a great case study in that sense also. Ki a lot of brands will then, I feel, or I hope, let's say, pick this up and say, okay, as long as the team is good, they're very clear about what their vision is, we should put our money behind it. And, you know, if the song is also palatable and it appeals to our sensibilities. So I think everything worked out in that sense. So good, Zepto. You made a film for the ears. Hai na? Who called it that? Somebody called it that. So Aman, you were saying that a lot of references they were sending you, which made you, okay, buy into the vision a lot more. What were the references, if you can give us
Just
some?
just the like the movies he named right now.
Okay.
Both of those movies, he also Eternal Sunshine is also a reference, which was probably one of my top movies of all time.
Yeah.
So just all that, and I've seen Yuvraj's work before. I know he will not make something corny like a Karan Arjun. You know, if he was like, I trusted him with like making this into something that what it eventually became.
Yeah.
And the man, you should have seen them making the deck and just like generally working on the idea, the mood boards, everything. Like they were like a team of like 20 people just day and night making this stuff, like presentations, whatnot. And I was like, if these guys are going all out, there is no reason for me to just like stay back and be laid back about this.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
That energy carries you forward. So, when I was watching it in my reaction, I don't know if you guys saw, but at the end, I'm confused. I'm like, wait, one looks like a Raj Kapoor Nargis wala, the rain scene. Then I started thinking, are all of them filmy scene inspired? So that's why I'm asking what were the references, because wo, jo parda tha with the movie, that felt like Lagan is happening. And the
Yeah.
balcony wala felt like Devdas or one of those old movies. So,
Yeah, so I'll go for the
yeah.
question. Essentially, yeah, you're right actually with most of the examples, but it came in later. Once we were clear on we want to do time travel, the question came in, are we doing like literal time travel with like कि 1940s में ये हुआ था, 1960s में ये हुआ था, and we put them into a situation, or are we doing like a little more cinematic? So we were immediately like, यार ये तो cinematic करना चाहिए. Shantum being a good reference of how they did like a very movie-esque idea of like Janam and all.
Yeah.
That's when we came in with the idea कि yeah, let's pay homage to all these different movies. Intentionally we never really went into a particular exactly ये recreate कर रहे
Yeah.
हैं. All the references you're mentioning were floating around here and there, a few more than others.
Okay.
We were just trying to recreate like a certain era and a certain vibe.
Mm.
Like the Rain reference you mentioned is that, and then Ashiki mein bhi kiya, and then a couple of other movies, and then Singing in the Rain, which is an international movie. So it's being a thing that's been done,
Okay.
and there's a certain cliche to it. Is
Yeah.
how we played it, but definitely a little more focus on Bollywood. But we were always mixing it up. For example, Padosan is one you mentioned, fully there. We were definitely thinking of that, but we wanted to flip it intentionally and not make it sweet. We wanted to
That
make
was
it
so
really
sad when he fell out and he died. I was
yeah.
like,
So
what?
so so we call it the stalker setup, and he's actually very intentionally shown as a creepy guy in that who is creepily in the night looking. पड़ोसन में उतना नहीं दिखाया इसमें में. पड़ोसन में
Ah,
थोड़ा sweet है वो, but अभी with context to today, it kind of changes if a guy is looking ऐसे. So we wanted him to be like this weird character. At the same time, if you can make people feel for this character in the end, I was like that would be success. Because we were
yeah.
saying कि ये थोड़ा messed up है, but at the end it's still a sweet person who just likes someone really a lot, and this ends up falling for them literally.
Yeah.
Similarly, there are other references that no one is catching on to, which I'm glad, because we never intended to make it too much of a photocopy. But एक दो ऐसी चीजें हैं जिससे पूरा गेम ही बदल जाता है. Once I tell you, almost like वही. I want me to tell you.
Yeah. One sec, you're
Offline.
frozen. You're
नहीं नहीं
frozen,
चले
Aman.
वैसे तो. Mainly I tell
हाँ.
you one of the main things I'm catching on to.
Okay.
होगी.
Tell us what you
Are you
can and
frozen?
what you are comfortable with. No, now you're fine.
Main reference that I had for Aman Sagar was Ryan Gosling as an archetype. Because India mein there is no Ryan Gosling.
Mm.
Ryan Gosling is this extremely charismatic guy who never gets the girl or who always ends up falling or like almost dying or like you see like he's like this very attractive but he never just is always at the finish line but he never crosses the line. That is the archetype I really saw Aman fitting into and I wanted to like fully play with that. That's how the concept also plays in कि कुछ भी करो इसको बंदे नहीं मिलेगी. Odds are always against him. And
So
from
sad.
that hot chocolate thing to everything else. So, yeah. So if you compare मेरे को तो वो इंडिया में Ryan Gosling है ही नहीं. So I was like Aman Sagar is the closest I've come to someone who feels like a Ryan Gosling. And then there are so many movies of his. अलग अलग
Yeah.
रोल है but सब में घुमा फिरा के similar ही चीज हो रही है उसके साथ if you notice.
Yeah.
And he's very likable. Ryan Gosling is extremely likable.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing. And for the rain one, for example, initially it wasn't the rain setup. We just got lucky that we didn't find a lift. It was a lift setup. And there is a scene in Drive that we wanted to give homage to. Drive is one of the major references. वो
Oh,
शुरू में भी गाड़ी चला रहा है रायन
yeah.
गॉसलिंग की मूवी है एंड रेन सेटअप में क्या होता है बेसिकली इन द लिफ्ट ही इज विद द गर्ल he
Yeah.
makes out with the girl and then another guy enters the lift and then Ryan Gosling hammer uses his hammer to kill the other guy and what ends up happening is इस scene में the girl realizes कि this guy is bad person he kills people and then she separates parts ways तो वो लिफ्ट से बाहर आ जाता है बंदी लिफ्ट के अंदर रहती है लिफ्ट बंद हो जाती है and it's like a final moment after which Ryan Gosling kind of becomes like this evil guy for her and they never are able to reconcile. Spoiler alert बोलते ना. This was the idea and we really loved the scene. हम लोग हर बार देखते इमोशनल हो जाते हैं. Such a beautiful scene. We wanted to do it but हमको lift ही नहीं मिल रही थी in the budget. So in the end, before like 2 days before shoot, literally, we are cracking and I was like, if the team can crack this, we are like geniuses. Because
Yeah.
ये तो हम लोग फंस गए हैं और 2 दिन में कैसे क्रैक होगा? Where whole setup has to be rethought. And then someone rethought this whole thing with a rain setup where instead of a lift we have an umbrella. So it's a similar thing that is happening where
Mm.
अंदर है तुम umbrella के बाहर आ गए which is kind of like you know and it became so Bollywood and it had so much more emotion than the lift scene. So we kind of
Yeah.
surpassed the reference in a way and that perfectly
Nice.
tied with the rain theme also. So ऐसे build होता गया where eventually we had left all our references behind but at the same time we had used them, we were aware of them but we wanted to like add to it
Build
and
on them.
make it more relevant to today and like make it new in a way कि ये अपने आप में pop culture बन जाए instead of just standing on pop culture and copying it to become pop culture we take from it and become something new which then
Yes.
becomes pop culture. That was the
Yes.
idea.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I was having this discussion with someone ki like there are no new ideas. It's just about how you build on an initial seed and
Yeah.
make it your
Agree.
own and create your own plant out of it. So I love how you guys
100%.
did that as well. Aman,
Yeah.
were you all this while you're leaning into the energy of the team, were you feeling scared about acting in it? I
Oh
have
yeah,
to act.
100%. I've never acted before that, and he's like fully मतलब सात मैं तेरे को सात different roles दूंगा, and you
Yeah.
have to like personify seven different people. I'm
You
like,
played
"Wow,
all seven so well, but what were you, how did you
honestly,
prepare?
there was prep. Yeah, the thing is, these guys did a really good job with like getting me prepared. Like there was this girl Suhani teaching me all the choreo for a lot of scenes, and then Tarasha, all these people like just like getting me prepped and like we had a whole rehearsal before every scene. The 2 days before the shoot, we did rehearsed each scene, went over it. Sangeeta helped me out a lot. She's a
She's so good.
really good actor, like very natural.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was scared, but then it turned out because of Om Patil. Shout out Om Patil. No, the editor, like everyone, all these guys made me look really good. Also, I feel so. Like
You look like a natural. You look like you've been acting for a while. And I
I'm
feel,
trying.
yeah, and also because y'all got the makeup, the hair, the costume so bang on. And Amitabh Bachchan has said this, if you get the look right, your 80% work is done as an actor. So kudos to the team that handled that. But your acting was all seven roles. I mean, even as the creep next door, you were likable. So
I mean, that's like character.
you're like,
Character.
thanks. Thanks, y'all. Okay, so tell me now, this question comes specifically from Ankur. He's noticed and he's really admired this. The entire video is on beat, especially the editing and all of that. It's shot on beat, like the umbrella kick, the punches in the fight scene, everything. The one that I love the most was when the bullock cart sort of runs you over. That's also on the music. It's so hilarious. When I noticed that, I think the second time I watched it, I was like, this is genius stuff. So, Yuvraj, tell me how you all planned each scene for those transitions and just to the beat. I mean, it's mind blowing. Tell me about that. You and Om, I think, must have
Yeah.
planned it.
Yeah. Om, the editor. Very, very all over the place. The process was. See, when we were ideating it, it was always actually supposed to be on beat. But the thing is, ki, what we had in mind was like a 3-minute music video. What
Oh,
you had seen is like an 8.5-minute music video. So you can
yeah.
imagine how things started expanding into other territories. After we had shot it, it had become like a 5-minute music video. And you are watching an 8.5 minutes. So you can imagine what all happened in post.
Yeah.
And then of course Javed Jaffrey sir, तो we'll keep that
Mm.
for later, I guess.
Yeah.
But so हुआ क्या, हमने plan किया था beat पे ही, और the
Okay.
reason it was, in fact, for you it might be like how are they doing this, for us it was more like a way to contain the story, otherwise it could have gone anywhere at any time. But I knew कि Aman's voice and Sangeeta's voice and the beat is telling me कि इस point पे ये sad moment है या फिर इस point पे कुछ ऐसा होना है, तो
Mm.
पूरी story ही music के तरह के through direct हो रही थी. In
Mm.
fact, that scene ha ha ha,
Yeah.
that he's singing, but when we heard it, we were seeing like an action scene, and then we choreographed based on that. That's how it started. But definitely, few things we had left a little for the open. So, फिर क्या हुआ, once we sit in post is when Om Patil comes in with his magic. We sit, we spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
बहुत ज़्यादा refining हुए. So many versions of the same edit, so many possibilities. Like one of the first feedbacks I got from the first cut from Divya, the chief on this, was कि let's. I think we should cut 2 janams. He said 2 जनम हटा देते. And obviously it was like, मैं तो हंसा, मैंने कहा obviously यार,
Yeah.
हर एक जगह साथ साथ और एंड में 5 जनम. But exactly why? Because it was just not making too much sense. There's so much happening. That's when we started increasing the length. Point being
Yeah.
कि there is so much going on. The only way to really tell the story well is give people something to sit in,
Mm.
put a safety belt on them, and then take them on this ride. And that was the music.
Mm.
The ride was the
Mm.
film, but the music is what takes you through it. And ये
Yeah.
तो हम aware थे हमेशा से. We had to make it as serene and smooth as possible. Most of my other projects I've tried to maintain the same thing, a good balance. And in general, when we get into making movies and all, one thing I love about Bollywood still, I love the music angle, but I don't think they play it that well. Like they don't play it that well into the story, nor do they play it like this. Like Edgar Wright is known for this. वो action scene में गाना डाल के पूरा mix कर देता है. So
Mm.
what I do want to eventually end up doing with the movies that he'll be making is कि Bollywood song आएगा, but movie continue होगी. Like an example being an SW, where
Yeah.
the story fully continues. It's still like a film, but it's like a musical song.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something we have kind of become good at. Like अभी हम लोग का वो area of expertise बन गया है.
Very nice. So you stretched it from a 3-minute song into an 8.5-minute film. By the end of it,
Yeah,
I was like, and because it ended with the Saat Maaf track with
yeah,
the credits, I
yeah.
felt I'm left wondering, I'm like, was this a music video? It says that in the title, but it felt like EP ka puri EP ka presentation, or like, a trailer for the EP. So y'all expanded it in many ways, in many layers.
Yeah.
So good call on that. Thank God you didn't cut 2 lives. Um, but
Yeah.
that coming to the 7 lives, it was not sequentially placed in the video. You're jumping forward, back, then thoda aage, fir all of that is happening from 1915 to 40s
Yeah.
to 1800s to whatever. So why was that done? It was just let it flow, or like what was the thought
तो
behind
बहुत
that?
फनी, या जब आइडिया सोचा गया उससे के इमिडिएटली बाहर, the only criticism, like the only thing that a couple of these people mentioned immediately is, even Aman mentioned this, I remember, कि क्या कहते हैं उसमें तो नहीं चलेंगे ना हायरार्की में कि ये तो immediately I realized कि this is gonna be whack if we try to make it too convenient or too simple. So that response told me कि ये नहीं कर सकते, which I'm also glad, because
Nice.
मतलब I like to have fun with the thing. If it
Yeah.
becomes too surgical and
Sequential,
methodical,
yeah.
हाँ, like
Scoring.
formulaic हो जाएगा, तो वो ऑप्शन गया भाड़ में इमीडिएटली. फिर हम आते हैं वाइब्स में. तो वाइब्स में आते हुए न्यू कि अभी सबसे एंटरटेनिंग क्या होगा, हाउ डू वी एंटर द एरास. So everyone's favorite from the start was the jazz. कि jazz में hero-esque way में this guy comes, because before that he's shown to be kind of a loser. It's not like a very heroic guy. His life is quite messed. And then immediately you come in at this guy looking all good, and then he has
Suave
smoking
and like, yeah.
exactly. So we knew how to enter. Then we
Nice.
kind of built it from there. Also, like
Okay.
once we knew the eras and song में पता चल रहा है, lyrics पे भी कुछ चीजें बहुत जा रही हैं. Like कुछ scenes जा रहे हैं when he's saying something and it happens. So we kind of pieced it together and then slowly built it. It was kind of building a puzzle जिसका
Yeah.
तुमने फाइनल इमेज ही नहीं दिखा अभी. तो तुम
Yeah.
बिल्ड करते जा रहे हो, धीरे धीरे बनते जा रहा है, इवेंचुअली पूरा बन गया. ओ ये है, ऐसा था प्रोसेस. एंड इंटेंशनली, एज अमन आल्सो पॉइंटेड आउट देन, कि द पॉइंट नहीं है सीक्वेंस पे जाने का. देन इट अगेन बिकम्स मे बी बोरिंग बॉलीवुड ओल्ड समथिंग ऑन दोस
Predictable.
लाइंस.
Yeah. So the transitions, like, the radio knob and then the gas ka knob, like all those, even him falling in all those different cuts and all those things. Did you storyboard every single one of those? No.
We are very infamous. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put all the stuff we did for the pre. A lot. You'll be shocked by how much of a noob we are in regards to this. Like we did storyboard of certain things, but firstly it's very badly sketched. It's like we still laugh at it when we're doing it. ऐसा होगा ना, and the DP is so good. We immediately get it. Like हाँ समझ गया, I got it. And
you should put all
some
those
things are
out
totally done.
on the SV
Yeah, we
Instagram.
are planning on. There's gonna be, we have 25 hours of BTS over the 7 months that we shot. I wanted to make like a short film out of it. But I don't know if that will make sense with the career, like the direction I'm going in, so much work here and there. So मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि it'll be nice if we just make reels and like people can get to know how it was happening, because I think what's even more magical is how we made this. Once people know, it's like almost so emotional and exciting to see, because it's actually like a college project only. जो तुम्हारे college के याद आ जाएगी, when things, there were no stakes and people could just come together, different parts of the country for the same goal. ऐसा हुआ था पूरा. And eventually big people getting involved. It's just, I don't know how that happened. But a lot of the transitions were pre-planned and a lot of them were not planned at all. And post may we just figured it out. That's why 5 minutes say 8 minutes ago it happened like that. It's a good mix. And with all the projects, I do keep that space and balance. If everything is too planned in India, I don't think you can make a good film with planning everything unless you have loads of money. Like if you have a lot of money, maybe. Otherwise, things go wrong. So if you don't cater for that, or if you don't cater for some freedom during shoot and afterwards, then it becomes a simple, हाँ ये है. हम लोग हमेशा स्पेस रखते हैं and it always like favors us. So end में वो जो transition है, that wasn't planned. That I don't think was planned. We got that first and then we shot that later. The क्या कहते हैं, this scene. So when we shot that, I connected it कि इस scene में cut करना है, तो let's do this, and then it became a thing. And उसके जगह एक और था, हमने 2 shoot किए थे. One was like an oven जिसको he presses. So मैं हाँ, and then we thought that doesn't make much sense. The milk thing is much more interesting. तो ऐसे कर करके बना, but बहुत चीजें planned नहीं थी, बहुत से scenes ही planned नहीं थे in fact. The cut especially, like that's the magic of post. Om killed it and like we've become good at it. तो हम लोग थोड़ा like करते हैं कि last 2 over में संभाल लेंगे, वैसा है हमारा.
Nice. But Aman, you were the main character in all the scenes, all the shoots, and while you were enacting everything, did you think that ये लोग इसको यहाँ connect करेंगे, or you just flowed with whatever you were told, and then when you saw it, you were like, what have they done?
Yeah. I had no idea what that was going to be the end product, basically, because I was also so like locked into like, just
acting
scenes. I was just like nervous about how am I doing,
Yeah.
And it all felt like this was all done in 95% of this was done in 48 hours, right? So it's like a lot happening. Like imagine doing all 7 settings in 48 hours. So it was for me like just scene after scene, and then
Yeah.
eventually like 2 महीने बाद finally like बहुत मुश्किल से like I had to be like please show me a cut, and then they showed me a cut because they were working at it so hard कि मतलब 2 महीने तक बताया नहीं क्या हो रहा है.
Oh
And
my
then I
God.
saw it completely like, oh, this is like I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah. Okay, so then the shoot itself was how many days?
2 days only. Mostly two, like the chunk of it was 2 days, and then the transitions that Yuvraj is talking about got them like 5 महीने बाद after the majority of it
Yeah.
was done.
Okay. Oh my
5 दिन हो गए
God.
थे अमन के.
That's
Yeah.
insane. In 2
Yeah.
days, you did all those janams, all that
Yeah.
makeup and hair
Yeah.
and costumes and
Good planning.
locations. My God, that's insane. So now look at this amazing thing that you all have created. I was thinking 6-7 महीने लग गए तो मतलब batches में shoot किया होगा and all of that, but it is mostly pre and post.
Yeah, because we had to get all the, like, let's say the money, the people to
Yeah.
bring that there, the locations.
Yeah.
Post, because whatever mess we had shot, as beautiful as it was, to make it all make sense. So
Yeah.
इसमें अच्छा टाइम लगा. Shoot के लिए हम prep थे majorly, and वही like anyone who is into film, especially the kind of filmmaking we are doing, would understand this कि the best way to do it is the shorter the better. Shoot smartly. हम लोगों ने locations in fact इतने smartly cheat किए हैं कि एक ही जगह पे 2-3 locations use हुई हैं. If you really see कैसे किया, you will be like, अरे ये तो पूरा बना रहे थे हमें, मतलब बहुत बनाया हमने. Because again, if we really go about it like normally filmmakers probably would, we would have not been able to make it only. It would have not been possible. So it was very well cheated throughout. Everything is very well cheated, and we're very well timed in a way कि इस टाइम पे मूंछें हटेंगी तो संजीता का शॉट लेंगे, then he'll change, then this. Every minute was accounted for by the team. Chief AD दिव्यलाल सबको बीच में शॉट आउट देते रहता हूँ. And क्या कहते हैं, killed it. Like वो सब तो again वही होता है. I think कहीं ना कहीं limitation होती है ना जब चीजों की, तब असली दिमाग चलता है regarding
Yeah.
creativity and all this. So that was well played.
Oh man, that's amazing. Okay, so then you said it stretched to 8.5 minutes. Was this the point where you decided to bring Javed Jafri in? Now I want to get into Javed Jafri's role.
Get into Javed Jafri, sir. Okay, so very randomly we had shot it. After a month, I'd gone back home, I came back. I don't know how this idea came into my head, but I think before shooting this, we never really knew how big this would become.
Yeah.
We never really knew if we would even get a sponsor. We got all the things we were looking for. So the next thing now I'm thinking of is post. जब प्री में आइडिया सोचा था तो एक सिंपल आइडिया था कि रेडियो पे एक बाबा जी की आवाज होगी, ही वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दीज एस्ट्रोलॉजी, जनम और आपकी कुंडली और आपकी औरत, समथिंग ऑन दोस लाइंस. इट वाज ऑलवेज अ वेरी एनपीसी बाबा एंड एस्ट्रो टॉक्स टाइप ये होते रहते हैं ना आजकल.
Right.
नॉट बीन दैट अनकॉमन. But as it progressed, as I realized कि यार this can be so much bigger, why am I like lowballing it? So I thought a little of options in my head कि क्या चाहता अगर मेरे को मिलता, and the first thing that popped up which made the most sense was Javed Jafri. We never really actually thought we'd get through, but I just floated that idea around to the seniors, Dhir Momaya being one of them, and Pranit Sane being one of them. And as I did that, they said कि yeah, we might be able to get in touch with him. And immediately I knew कि bro अभी तक this तरह चल रहा है, it's possible then maybe because everything has been working out. Cut to eventually after like a lot of back and forth, eventually we got to a meeting with him. We showed him a cut. He let us be at his space, showed us a lot of his, like he has like a huge bunch of movies, and
Yeah.
all of that. Then again we came back home, and now he's supposed to record later. And then again it was very tough again to get in touch with him because he's anyway very busy. He's doing so many things. So हम लोग का hope फिर से lose हुआ. We actually 2 days before the release we didn't have Javed Jafri sir. It was my voice.
What?
And a few of
Oh.
a few of the people actually thought ये जावेद जाफरी है क्योंकि I was acting like him and no one knew कि हमने record नहीं किया है अभी. तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ नहीं ये नहीं है bro. And so we kind of gave up hope. And then just before we had like just a little while before we had fully given up, I had to quite totally had given up. I was okay with the reality in which SU comes out and there's no Javed Jafri sir. But then I got a call from Deen Mumaya, and he says कि आधे घंटे के अंदर reach his house. He has the flight to catch. Get the recording, and you're there around the office. मैंने कहा yeah, I'm ready. I call everyone from the team. We're like चलो चलो recorder ये वो, panic. We reach, and whoa, magic bro. That was magic. Like the recording session was very very magical because firstly. It's funny how people thought my voice was Javed Jafri sir's voice because the moment he started doing the dialogues, I swear we had goosebumps. Yaar. His
He's
voice
so
was like a seasoned Shah Rukh Khan या अमिताभ बच्चन उस zone में है when he started talking, and that added with the quirk of the Javed Jafri अपना pogoness, so that
yeah.
combined became very nice. And हम तो हिल गए, मतलब I swear I think I might have videos जिसमें Om and all started clapping यार, as if we were like it was funny. मतलब we were looking at him and
Like instant reflex.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was so funny. on top of it, he cracked a couple of dialogues with us. So essentially, we ended up jamming with him. And the
Nice.
last couple of lines he cracked, we couldn't crack because we were really struggling to like wrap it up. And the
Yeah.
trickiest thing is to give people the full form of SV because we had been hyping it up. No one
Yeah.
knows what it is.
Yeah.
It better not be like a dud. कि यार ये था क्या? So
Yeah.
in comes Javed Jaffrey sir and he thought of that final line. What this guy is trying to do is say
Yeah.
it sucks without you. And man, everyone loves that.
Oof.
That's the real climax where you
Yeah.
finally get it all. Oh,
He's so good. This is where a seasoned like artist comes in, no, with their
yo, for real, for real. And the reason this will be relevant for the rest of time is because of him.
yeah.
Otherwise, people would have seen it as just another video. There's so many great creators out there doing so many interesting things. It could have become one of those. But now I think it's like etched in time because of the fact that we have someone as important as Javed Jaffrey for the culture in this. And like,
Hmm.
मैं जावेद जाफरी आपके लिए लेके आया हूँ ESWY. Done. We have it.
Done.
हो
I
गया
feel like
सबको.
it's you guys' energy, your idea, the way you've sold it, you've talked about it. I think anyone, and kudos to him because you can just tell when it's the right energy and you want to be part of it.
True, true. I agree. I think it's that only. I don't think it's skill at all.
Yeah.
It has to be the energy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, tell me, I'm gonna now that I made a list, okay, quickly. You guys can both tell me if I am. There was a lot of seven in the video. This
Yeah.
was obviously planned like that. Were there seven bobbleheads in
Yeah.
each life? There were. Okay, so that
Yeah.
was right.
Yeah.
Okay, now there was a wine bottle, there were cows, 7 p.m. in the pocket watch, and the key to my safe that she hands him.
हाँ.
XOXO. मेरे को
Yeah.
वो थोड़ा समझ नहीं आया. So she's handing it to him, but the other guy
So
grabs
I'll
it.
tell you, it's a little, that's the most convoluted one, which is also very tricky to explain. And in general, like if we had a like a movie का scene होता तो थोड़ा explain होता, but अभी वही है, हम लोग stuck हो गए कि गाने में करना है. What the scene was very simple. It was a scene in which a guy, which is Wolf Crackman, is talking to a girl, which is the Sanjita in this grocery setup, and both of them have like a planned robbery setup. And this
Oh,
third guy who also is thinking कि लड़की मेरे से फ्लर्ट कर रही है तो वो जब
oh,
हायर करते हैं तो दोनों को लगता है वुल्फी के लिए था बट उसको भी लगता है he comes in and then when this guy brings out the gun Aman thinking कि this girl is a threat tries to sacrifice himself for the girl and in the end we reveal and he
yeah,
realizes कि, oh shit
they were
they were
together.
in on it and
Yeah.
Sanjita is confused and kind of feeling sad because उनका भी एक connection है जन्म जन्म का but at the same time at the end of the day it's like a Bonnie and Clyde situation and this guy in the middle thinking I'm a hero dies for the girl and then realizes कि oh shit मैं फालतू में मर गया. That was the idea. It is very
Okay.
again convoluted. I don't think most people are getting that. सबका मन में कुछ बन रहा है. But idea was that, and like we actually had a few other things planned. But again, the way the grocery setup particularly went is we were going overboard on time, and
Mm,
very मुश्किल से to permission with this place. तो
mm,
बहुत issues हो गए थे. तो किसी तरह
okay.
कर लिया वो वाला. And then my way to make sure that that's like standing strong is the mixed medium that we did. So it's like very Scott Pilgrim with the
Yeah.
animation. So it's a very well like looks great, but yeah, the
Yeah.
story gets a little muddled. But when people find out what we're trying to do, they get very happy about it. Oh, ये था क्या?
So, because for me, my brain is thinking ladka ladki are flirting and they like each other, and then third person is third person villain. So I'm not
Yeah.
thinking on the lines of the two people are in on something together and he's the third person. So maybe that's why
थोड़ा हाँ वही है ट्रिकी है
I'm
क्योंकि
thinking typically. Yeah.
चीजें हो रही हैं एंड पीपल तो सम पीपल थॉट कि ये अर्जुन ही है अर्जुन वाज द सेम गाय विलन इन एवरी वन ऑफ द जन्म तो दे डिडंट इवन ग्रास्प कि तीसरा बंदा आ गया व्हिच समवन क्रिटिसाइज्ड आल्सो सीनियर्स में कि तुमने सब सेम रखना चाहिए था आई इंटेंशनली डिडंट वांट इट टू बी लाइक दैट अदरवाइज इट बिकम्स अ लिटिल मोर लाइक अ प्ले जिसमें तीन ही लोग हैं हर बार आई
Hmm.
वांट इन वन केस टू बी लाइक अ बुलक कार्ड इन वन केस इट कुड बी सम अदर रीजन व्हाई ही डाइज इट्स मोर ऑफ डेस्टिनी इंस्टेड ऑफ वन पर्सन
Yeah.
बट इफ यू लिसन तो ऑडियो में बेसिकली न्यूज चैनल पे वुल्फी है एज अ क्रिमिनल he's there on a news channel as a guy who's robbing places and in the audio you can hear a mention of the news reporter saying he's robbing people with another female partner who is unknown that is mentioned so if you listen to it you'll be like
Oh,
okay so we did
so
give a little more but boy, it's a little too no one really catches onto it or tries to figure it out and end में जब flashback होता है तब भी when we see Sanjita with that audio replays कि इनका पार्टनर कौन है कोई नहीं जानता and we have a close up to Sanjita so she was like it's very simple Bonnie and Clyde वाला एक archetype we were trying to play
my
with yeah
God, there are so many elements spread across everywhere.
yeah
This
yeah
has to be consumed so many times. I literally feel like Game of Thrones levels of,
yeah
foreshadowing and all is happening. There
yeah
were so many of these 7 minutes ago, 70 years ago, 7 p.m. on the clock, and all of that is happening. So you all were a little May 7 on the calendar. You all were very
Yeah,
obsessed
we
with
released it
7.
on a 7th. The idea came to us The idea नहीं पहला pitch तो था. It was pitched to, I think the first brand pitching was on 7th. Then shoot was on 7th and then release of the song was on 7th. So like when we realized कि एक दो बार तुक्के में 7 पकड़ रहे हम तो फिर हम intentionally ही पकड़ने लग गए.
Very
When we
nice.
realized कि it has happened so many times where 7, and then I found a flat after the shoot ended that is 7 number. At this point we don't even get shocked. It's just like
Someone transferred 7,000 to my account 2
yeah,
days.
अभी no one knows, by the way. No one knows.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
What? That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
After the release, yeah.
I mean, it was obviously something I worked on, but it was like 7,000 transferred to your account. I was like, whoa, what is this?
And group में he's asking किसने
This
भेजा
is
है
the
मेरे को?
universe. The universe
Yeah.
doing its thing. So
Yeah.
there are different things. There was a gazette on the wall in the 1915 scene. These are just things I've noted. They may or may not have any relevance. In okay. Oh yeah, the bus stop, bus number 7 is happening in 1985. And
SV Road.
when it ends, in the last scene, it's and the what is that thing called? The drone is coming with the Zepto package. It says 23:53 on the clock, which is 7 minutes to midnight. I thought that was very sneakily done.
Yeah. Good catch, damn. You really got into it.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I have to talk to these guys. I better.
So what
Get-
happened is एक point के बाद मैं इतना I was not anally entering कि हर जगह 7 डालो. People caught on to it. So the person who's doing VFX did his own thing here and there. So everyone was doing their own
Everyone's
thing.
doing their own
So
kidas and planting
they
things.
got it. Like they got the क्या कहते हैं उसे brief कि ये है scene मजे करो. तो
हाँ.
उससे में wow.
Okay, so lovely. Listen, like I said, you all have made a game-changing, scene-elevating thing, and I really, really hope and pray that other people get inspired by it, other filmmakers in the industry get inspired by it, and the audiences get inspired by it to demand better from the creatives that they are, whose art they are consuming. You know, because I was having this discussion abhi recently with someone ki, and I didn't like a video and I'm quite like open about why it didn't work for me. So someone's like, it's ठीक तो है ना video, अब इस गाने के लिए ऐसा ही बन सकता है. So I was like, no, you need to like have a higher standard for your artists, and I think you all have
Forgotten.
really set a new benchmark in that regard. I just want to ask, this was you said it started off with you wanting to make a 3-minute video for a 3-minute song, 3-minute something song. But then did you feel like we need to push those boundaries beyond the typical music video format? Along the way, it did become that. You made it 5 and then 8 minutes. With the result, you must have known when you saw it, and Aman, you as well, that this is something special. How has the response made you all feel about this? I'm just saying how I feel about it, but you all tell me. Both
Aman,
of
you
you.
wanna go?
Aman.
I mean, honestly, like we did 2 screenings for this. We did one full-on screening in a theater in the other. We booked out like an old theater. These guys booked it out, and we invited all our close friends, all the people from the SV page who were following us. You know, we did like a ticketed event. It was fun.
Nice.
Free event था.
Free event था. मतलब we had like fake tickets, I guess.
हाँ, fake tickets, but we again
Just like, you know, the vibes.
Nice.
And like we saw it in a full screen for the first time. The video wasn't even done completely, but like everyone, like the reactions of the people just watching them look at the video and just being like blown away.
Yeah.
Like we showed them like our previous works before in the screening. Like we showcased 6-7 videos, and then we showcased SV as the highlight of the night. And people were like, that last video was like everything like I ever wanted in a music video. And
Yeah.
just like people just react to it. All my friends and family, everyone I send it to. Even the YouTube comments, you look at them, the people who actually like watch the video have at least watched it 10 times each. So that is like, it's priceless, you know, that sort of reaction. Like people and like, for example, like you, like getting into all the details and like pointing out these like little, like the 23:53 thing, midnight thing. Even I did not catch that, honestly. Like, I feel like this is the first time I'm hearing of that. So people like deep diving into some shit that you made. I feel like that is success.
As an
Honestly.
artist, you must be like, I just made a song and look where it's gone with all these minds
Yeah.
on it, right? It must be so fulfilling. And
For sure, like it definitely elevated the song, and then it, like you said, like the community needs things like this. Like people need to be serious about, like music video is filmmaking. It's not like just like
Yeah.
something you put on top of a video. Like that, like a lot of people also I know are not very much into, you know, like there were some comments where people are like, oh, but you're interrupting the music so much. And I'm like, bro, this, like if you want to listen to the music, go to Spotify. No, like this is an experience where you need to have the full story. And
yes,
I just love that we did the 8-minute thing, and I mean these guys did the whole thing, but like I was fully on board.
breaking norms is
Yeah.
what it is. Yuvraj?
Yeah. So regarding response, we were again every step of the way it kept becoming bigger. We
Yeah.
then made a page, social media page, where people didn't know what the page is about, SU Private Limited करके. And we realized that every music video we've done before, the main issue is marketing. We always fall flat. So this time around, we went a little extra hard on it, and yeah, we got a great response. Everyone who's seen it has flipped.
Yeah.
The real impact, I think, no matter how many views or how many people watching it, it would have not been enough for something like this for me. So I would have not been too satisfied or too saddened by anything. What
Yeah.
actually done for me and for I guess everyone,
Mm.
it's set a bar. Like I can't really
Yes.
be now stooping too low. Not and
Yeah.
the people around me who are directing can be stooping too low. मतलब अभी ये भी exist करता है. So when you wanna make something that's one of the best music videos, you'll have to look at this and be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the new record. Let's say, right? That is the biggest achievement I feel like we've kind of ended up doing. Same for Aman with the EP that he put out. It's a banger. So he can't
Mm.
suddenly go back to something which he thinks would sell better. This that he'll now have to cater to an audience which is fully coming for a conceptual
Yeah.
EP.
And keep, yeah,
So
taking it up.
now, as scary as it might be for me and him, we are stuck in this, and it's almost like, wait, now it's only gonna go uphill from here, or we'll be out of the scene. And I'm ready to face whatever consequence that may be. But yeah, that is the best thing that could have happened. And I'm just happy about that कि हम लोगों ने इतना push किया कि हम लोग खुद ही फंस गए अब.
It's a good place to be hustled in. Let me just say
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
because
yeah. Yeah.
you're gonna push your own boundaries and create even bigger things, always bigger
Yeah.
and upwards,
Yeah, a
right?
lot of things planned. For real. मतलब हम लोग already जिस बात पे जा रहे हैं, I have a lot of things planned with SV as well.
Oh,
We might be doing some random videos for other songs. I don't know if Aman knows this,
I asked
but
him about opium.
हाँ, बिकॉज ओपीएम इज डूइंग सो वेल.
Yeah.
हालांकि ओपीएम का वीडियो तो दिमाग में नहीं था मेरे फिलहाल, बट कुछ तो कर ही सकते हैं. प्लस इज आर्टिस्ट इज नॉट इन इंडिया, उसको लाना पड़ेगा. उसको पता भी नहीं है, पता है, आई डोंट नो उसने वीडियो में देखा है नहीं, वो आर्टिस्ट बैठा है उधर. अलग ही ट्रिप है वो. कुछ नहीं पता, प्रमोट प्रमोट भाड़ में जाए तो कर लिया अपना वर्स एंड इधर पढ़ रहा है गाना. बट या वी जस्ट गेटिंग
Nice.
स्टार्टेड, वी हैव थिंग्स प्लान्ड एंड
Okay.
क्या कहते हैं, वी इवेंचुअली डू वांट टू रेज द बार. सो
Yeah.
that's essentially the aim right now. Even with the details that you said are like things that so detailed. For example, the bobblehead, the story behind that, like the possibilities of that कि इसका क्या मीनिंग है, क्यों है वो जब मैं
Mm.
बताना शुरू करूंगा, you'll realize this is a world,
Yeah.
and this music video is just a window into it. You've really
Mm.
not really gotten into the world at all, which I would really want to explore in the future. जिसमें बहुत चीजें हैं, a lot of things which might feel random and actually something we can expand on. Like you know how the Inception, for example, that memento thing is there. It tells
Yes,
you you're in a dream.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Similarly, for you to, let's call it for now, janam jump, you need a few things for
Yeah.
that anomaly to happen, which includes
Mm.
like an object which kind of travels with you. And losing
Mm.
that object might lead to certain repercussions. Stuff like that has been already built out, which suddenly makes you realize, oh, shit, this has so much more importance, and those creepy eyes mean so much more. Similarly, you need a certain kind of music to be playing in the moment. So SV, the song, always became like that medium for us to be able to create this. And in the world also, this song and these songs will be the medium for people to travel back in time. These added layers, when people realize ये सब है ना, it's just like opening up a new world, like the feeling you
Yeah.
had when you read Harry Potter पहली बार. And it's
Yes.
just so much more than a book, yeah. And then the movie, and then it's like so real, right? The world is real. That is what SV is and is striving to be. And hopefully we'll get to explore more of it in the future, me, Aman, and the whole team.
And Arpit
This.
Bala.
Batala. This whole thing of creating a world for a
Yeah,
project is like, that's
yeah,
what I was saying. It's like a Game of Thrones world, like a Harry Potter world. It's like there are layers and there are things that connect one, scene to the next and place to the next, character to the next. It's incredible. I don't want to unpack all of it because it's for the viewers to experience and unpack on their own and interpret on their own as well. I have so many other interpretations that I'll discuss with you offline. ये list बहुत लंबी है मेरी. But I was sitting and I was writing notes. I feel like I'm back in school making notes. But like you said, it is about changing the game. It is about letting the audiences mainly see that कुछ और भी possible है, and a music video need not be just the song start to end. It can create its own visual world, and that's the kind of basic level of expectation we should have as audiences, just so the creators get inspired
yeah.
to deliver higher things of higher standards. So thank you guys.
No,
That's
thank you. Thank you for having us and like discussing it in depth. Like I feel like no one else has discussed this with us so much in depth, and like you've really, you know,
my
believed
pleasure.
in this project. So
You've indulged the nerd in me, the music nerd in me. So thank you for that. And just really from the bottom of my heart, I'm just thanking you guys for the art that you created, the video, the song, the project. It's really like an oasis in the middle of the desert. Because I was craving to see something like this out of the Indian music industry. I always felt like we have incredible music minds, incredible creative minds in the country, but for some reason we just see the same things over and over, and someone needs to break that mold and do something unique. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I literally, the first post I shared on Instagram was, this is crazy, I've never seen anything like this ever in the scene, and that still stands. So
हम
to,
लोग एक और शूट पे थे तब, yeah, we were on another shoot, and then we saw the story, and then everyone in the team, like हम सब एक ही गाड़ी में थे, सारे filmmakers, हम लोग एक दूसरे को दिखा रहे हैं, बहुत खुश हो गए, and
yeah,
then we were like, यार react क्यों नहीं किया, ये तो बोल रही react करेंगे, we didn't know you would actually then react, and eventually the reaction also came. We were very very happy. Reaction day also was one day before another release of mine, तो हम लोग बुरी हालत में होते हैं release से पहले, and then your reaction came, and then we woke up to that of sorts,
oh
and we
nice.
were like sharing it, and we were like, we have a first proper reaction, and that's just great to have, because this is one of those pieces which has to be like kind of reacted to and talked about. It's not just कि एक देखा हम भूल गए.
Yeah,
तो बस अच्छा लगा वो देख के, बहुत
I'm
genuinely,
so
and
glad.
glad it authentically happened. Like that's great.
Your message made my day. You were like, oh, you made our week.
हाँ
And then people from your team also started dropping me messages. So shout out to the whole
बहुत
team.
स्वीट लोग हैं, मतलब everyone is, you would think कि हम लोग फिल्म में करिए, वो सब बच्चे हैं हम, और like we're just having fun making all this. It feels good when someone recognizes it.
So glad. Keep at it. Keep this energy alive in you. And thank you so much for indulging me and my curiosity and the nerd in me. Guys, go
Thank,
and loop SV now and go watch the video.
So bye. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye, guys. Thank you.
thank you. Bye.